Oh, hey everybody, I'm just making sure everything's working. 'Cause you know it's Sunday. There must be a reason we're streaming on a Sunday. That reason will be explained in a moment. So welcome on board. Let's go. Oh! How's it going, everybody? Are you guys having a lovely Sunday? I hope so. Hopefully everything is looking all fly over there. Got a little DP we're drinking tonight. Although, guys, as always, hey, you know what? If you guys got any super chats or donations and all that, we'll get the shots of flowing and all that jazz. We have, I noticed something a lot when I edit my videos lately, and I don't know if I've been doing this the entire time for 4 years, but I've noticed that I tend to say it is what it is and all that jazz. I say those two phrases probably at least a half dozen times in every video. I have literally no idea when I got into the habit of using that phraseology, but it is what it is. How you guys doing? Let me shout out everyone who's here in the chat tonight. This is a special Sunday stream, and actually, while things might look pretty samey for you guys, although we have one special way to look at news now that we've had before, but hasn't worked really in a long time, but now it does work. We'll explain what happened and what changed about our setup here. Also, back here you might see like rotating desktop wallpaper. I think Breath of the Wild's up right now. I don't have any specific imagery set right now to it, so it is what... See, I caught myself there. I was about to say it is what it is. Let me shout out everyone who's here. So we have one of our members of the board of directors here, Loki Ravenstorm. Also, by the way, I just noticed something. We don't have our member goal up. Nate, what's wrong with you? Is our alert box working? Our alert box is working. So that's cool. And the ticker's wrong. Look at this. I can edit everything right here. It's almost as if, welcome to Sunday Funday. It's almost as if I'm semi-professional around here and can now update things. It's crazy. We'll get into how I'm now able to do this when it's been a long time since I've been able to run my setup the way I want. But welcome, Loki Ravenstorm, one of our members of the board of directors of Nintendo Prime. We have Aiden Zilla here as well. Kevin, Kev, Natsu is here as well, another member of the board of directors. Welcome. We have Marcus here. Timothy is here. Let's see here. We have GN Franco Larada is here. Crazes Koth, another member of the board of directors of Nintendo Prime. Better Electrically, yet another member. Man, the members coming out tonight. Adam Bubbas is here. Let's see. We have Penguin. How's it going, man? Sylvester Favela. The Phantom Boy 90 is here as well. Donnie Dudzinski is here. Welcome. Another member of the board of directors of Nintendo Prime. It's Just Abigail is here, because, you know, it is just Abigail. Nintendo Love Girl is here. How's it going? We have Verum Verby is here as well. Rio Hayabusa is here. Scrolling on down that list, we have, I think I've shouted out most of those people. Super Tech Tricks is here. Let's see. Donna Savoy is here, another member of the board of directors of Nintendo Prime. People that clicked the little join button and made this bar go higher. By the way, if we do get to 200 at some point this month, there will be a special giveaway in addition to all the other crazy stuff we have going on. Let's see. Major Blazer is here as well. Verum Verbies let me know that I'm looking quite chipper tonight. Well, thank you. It's a bit of a stress relieving stream for me tonight. Let's see here. We have the Phantom Boy 90 is here. We have Ryu Hayabusa. Jack Parker is here. Let's see here. Ho, my chat just jumped. Hold on. We got a lot of people to say hi to here. Let's see. We got Daniel Vasquez is here. The Avengers 34. It is what it is. Andrew Amst is here. Don Lewis. Jesse Deribe is here. We got Kit Tanashia Karatani. How's it going? Jim Meister, bro, is here. You are not late. You're good to go. Don Lewis. Juan Castillo. Charles Trudell is here. Sky Dennis is here. Zico Amar is here. We got Sound Giant, Elvira Canavarel. Jack Parker is here. You lost your moderator status, Juan. I got you, buddy. Yeah, that's leftover drippings of when we got hacked. They got rid of all of our moderators. Also unblocked everyone we had blocked, so that was fun. Nintendo Trained, how's it going? We got Jerry High is here as well. Double A7, Dark Dragon 19 is here. Zico Amar is here. I have Andre's Restart and Nintendo Prime stream going simultaneously. What a baller! Should I really mess up your viewing experience and put Andre's stream on my stream and like act like I'm having a conversation with Andre? Would I really not? Because we're on two completely separate channels at the moment. How's it going? We have Eric Robinson, another member of the board of directors of Nintendo Prime. How's it going? BJ Holloman is here. Let me see. It's been some weeks since I watched Nintendo Prime stream. It's good to see you again, says Nintendo Lover Girl. Thank you so much. It has been a while since I've seen you around. Welcome back, Dan. Hopefully welcome back for me as well. Let's see, we got Nick Forrest. Hello, I can't see anything. Where is everyone? I see the chat, but not the camera. What? Better be able to see me. If you can't, I messed up. And I messed up bad. But no one else is complaining, so I think everything's all good. Let's see here. Logan LeBlanc. How's it going, man? Another member of the board of directors of Nintendo Prime. Anthony Cat as well. Hey, how's it going, buddy? Eric Isaac is here. Jack Parker. Let me see. We got Robin Slid as well. Let's see here. Major Horizon. Shiny Ray 01. Anthony Cat. How's it going? Captain Clutch. Coming in with the clutch. Epic Tendo Game Skills. Probably more epic than mine. Not that hard to be. Let's see here. We got, I think that's everyone. Jesus Calderon is here as well. So I think, Sky Dennis, you have to trademark that phrase and make it merch. What it is, and all that jazz. Here's the thing. Both of those phraseologies are actually old school now. All that jazz is like from a long time ago. Like, I don't know, is it like the 60s or 70s? I don't know, it's from a hell of a long time ago, that phraseology. It is what it is. I'm not even sure when that was coined either, but I do know it was also from quite some time ago. So I don't want to coin that stuff and put it on merch. Now, there is a piece of merch we are going to be creating, and I think we'll be creating it coming up here soon because we have the Game Awards coming up. And I think we're going to launch a new line of Hype Responsibly merch. So you can look forward to that. Hey-o, Taker 610! Woo! Thanks for re-upping your membership, good sir. He says, oh, and I can read the chat right here. This is kind of cool. I have it here and here in two places. Taker610 says, January 17, we got a trailer for Mario Odyssey. This January, do we get the sequel? Maybe next Switch launches with Mario and not Breath of the Wild 2 in 2023. That's an interesting thing to think about, Taker610. I don't know when we're going to get the next Direct. Could be January, could be February, could be March. Well, there will usually be an early, January, February Direct in the year to kind of set you up for that first half, that spring and early summer. So it's possible that we actually do get a Direct then, and that there is some new game announcement, a major one, potentially Mario. I have no idea what it's going to be. We're kind of at the whims of Nintendo at this point. As for could it be like a launch for the next Switch? Breath of the Wild 2, I do not believe is going to be launching a new generation Switch. I can tell you right now, I don't know if Breath of the Wild 2 is going to land next year, even though Nintendo has consistently, since it was announced, reaffirmed that, hey, Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out in 2022. And yeah, maybe still launches some other hardware, but it's not going to be launching next gen. I'm very confident Breath of the Wild 2 is not launching next gen. So could Mario launch next gen? I think, while possible, no. I don't think we're getting a next gen Switch in 2023 in the first place. So no, I think we'll get a new Mario game before the end of this generation. I also think there actually is a really good chance that Mario Kart 9 could end up being the de facto launch game for the next Switch or the next system. Look at the sales of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and tell me Nintendo wouldn't love to launch a piece of hardware with Mario Kart 9. I'm telling you, it is the system of system sellers. There's a reason for 5 straight holidays they're doing the exact same Switch bundle. 5 straight holidays, packaging Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in. They know what sells. Mario Kart 9, I think, that would be a better one. Now, we do have some news to get to today. Some of this stuff will be brought up again in tomorrow's news video. By the way, I do kind of want to go over some of the stuff I did in my update video yesterday. I'm not sure, one, not very many people saw the video, which maybe I made a mistake in making it a, what's it called, a premiere. I don't do premieres very often, and every time I do them, I get really disappointed in the overall viewership. Doesn't matter if it's for that, if it's for a news video. And I've noticed most other channels have gone away from doing premieres. So maybe it's just something I won't do anymore. I don't think the algorithm is liking premieres as much as it once did. Maybe it's just one of those failed ideas by YouTube that only works for very select channels. So we'll go over a bit of the channel update today because I have some updates to the updates. That's just how it is. Things are ever evolving. Before we get to that, though, we do have some news to talk about. And again, some of this news will be brought up in our video that goes up tomorrow, by the way, which should be up by 11 a.m. Central Time. I've already started gathering stories for it. I want to talk about some of this stuff here. So let's do the best that we can here and pray that this works. Come on, computer, you can do it. Yeah, look at that. Now, I don't know if the chat's working. The chat is working. Beautiful. So everything's working as intended. All right, so we have some news to show you here. This is on The Verge. It says Nintendo Switch is back on top of the U.S. This is talking about some of the sales data. And there's some stuff that you get in here, some more exact data. As an example, the Switch sold 711,000 units overall in the U.S. in October, and 314,000 of those for October was Switch OLED. This data came directly from Nintendo themselves. The NPD mentioned it was the top seller. But yeah, there's a crap load of Switch OLEDs that sold. A crap load. So yeah, that's something right there. So 314,000 Switch OLEDs sold out. 711,000 total Switches. Made up close to half of the Switch units that sold. That's insane. Yeah, let's just say that's a huge month. It's one of the record months for Switch. Or October, anyways, the October month period. All right. So I wanted to read specifically some comments they have in here from Doug Bowser, who is the president and CEO of Nintendo of America. We don't hear from him very often, right? We used to always hear from Reggie Fils-Aimé back when this was his gig. He was much more talkative with the media, much more of a personality presence with fans. Doug Bowser, he goes to like Nintendo New York store once in a while. We don't really see Doug Bowser that often, to be honest. Now, it doesn't help that he also kind of took over right before we headed into a pandemic, so that doesn't help. But yeah, he is someone who obviously will be doing interviews and stuff around press events. This was a press event time because Nintendo also had their shareholders meetings. And they said, we see this as a strong start for Nintendo Switch OLED model and a very strong indicator of the performance we can expect as we go into the holiday season. So he's expecting Switch performance to just boom, just exponentially increase over the course of that. Let me see here. So Doug Bowser wanted to address supply issues because obviously people are worried if Switch OLED is going to be available. And he said these challenges have been facing many industries and they've been going on for quite some time. But we're working to meet demand for our holiday products, including Nintendo Switch OLED model. I will say things are constantly changing, but we've been working across the supply chain from production to overseas transport to local distribution channels to make sure we have a steady flow of hardware and games through the holiday cycle. Now, despite all of our efforts, I'd say there is still a high level of uncertainty. I'd certainly recommend if you see it, buy it as this holiday season. As you know, in our last earnings report, we did reflect a reduction in our overall number for this year. We took it down to about 1.5 million units to 24 million units globally, and that does reflect the outlook and visibility that we have into the rest of the fiscal year. I will say the semiconductor components are in short supply. The future is uncertain, and there are no major improvements that we see on the horizon, so I think the challenges will continue into 2022. We're going to continue to do our best working with our suppliers, etc. So they're just trying to do the best they can, like every other company in the world. Well, let's get into some of this news stuff. You guys see this little portion of fan complaints of poor emulation? What? Doug Bowser actually commented on this? Like, they're not just ignoring that these complaints exist? Very interesting, since Nintendo tends to not always listen. But before we get to that, this is notable here because Metroid Dread has sold 854,000 units. Now, this is just in the U.S. This does not include Canada, Mexico, South America, Brazil, all these other, basically every other country in the world. This does not. But the thing is, if you do a little digging, we can get a pretty good estimate of how many Metroid Dread copies have sold basically through October. If you add in Japan sales, which we do have numbers for from Famitsu, we're already basically at 1 million copies of Metroid Dread selling in October just from Japan and the US alone in combined sales. Then we have a little bit of data from the UK and a couple other sparing countries as well. Again, we don't have data for the whole world. It seems to all be looking that that they have sold around 1.3 million copies of Metroid Dread in October, which is a massive all-time record. No other game has come close to selling that many in a launch month for Metroid. So, yeah, now we have a bit more exact data. We'll have to wait and see if it continues to boom in sales over the holidays. I assume Nintendo thinks there will be a nice bump from Switch sales and all that heading into holiday season, Black Friday. So lots of stuff that Nintendo probably expects. And we'll know better, in 3 more months when Nintendo does their next fiscal report, how well Metroid Dread is actually sold, since that fiscal report will have October, November, and December sales data in it, aka the 3 biggest months for Metroid Dread to even sell in the first place. So yeah, good news for Metroid Dread. Good job. Let's see, I gotta postpone an update on this computer, so I don't want it to restart right now. Out of curiosity, have you played the second DLC for Age of Calamity? I have not played it yet. Nope, not yet. I am planning to get to it, but not yet. All right, because there's probably some story elements in there I'm really curious about. All right, so Bowser also touched on a few other recent and ongoing. So I actually want to open up this full article. I'm curious if he's got more comments than this. So let's open that up. Here, let's see here. Nope. There's no comments from Doug Bowser in there. That's just their original report. All right, so on talking about the fan complaints of poor emulation, we're constantly looking for ways to make our online features and those games better, and continuing to add value through more services and more games as we go forward. We take the feedback very seriously, and we're continuing to look at ways to improve the overall performance. For us, it's about quality and great content at a great value. Basically a bunch of marketing PR speak. This is a very Reggie Fils-Aimé type comment. Well, that was his boss for many, many years, so Doug Bowser did learn from one of the best to ever do it. It's funny, we talk about, because people already don't think the Switch Online expansion pack's a great value. Some people argue it might not have great content. That's obviously all subjective there. And the quality has obviously been brought into question as well. So it's when he says for us it's about quality, great content, and great value, there's a lot of Nintendo fans that are upset with everything. They're going to read that and go, but you didn't check any of those boxes. So if that's what it's really about for you, then why aren't you delivering that, right? But he does say that they do take the feedback seriously. So it's one of those, they probably don't have any updates to give at this point, and they probably will release updates to the Nintendo 64 online app that's going to improve performance of games and fix some of the glitches. But yeah, I don't really know what we expected the president of Nintendo of America to say. You think he was going to say the world's on fire, it's our most disliked video of all time, and everybody hates it? Like, he's not gonna act like the world's on fire when it's really not for them. Moving on, he talks about the battle against Joy-Con drift, and he says, as we've gone through the first 5.5 years of Nintendo Switch, we've observed gameplay. We've observed as people have returned units how they've worn, and we've been making continuous improvements overall to the Joy-Con, including the analog stick. The latest version, Nintendo Switch OLED, has the same updated analog stick that's now available in the original Switch and Switch Lite. So all current units coming off of the production line are using the updated Joy-Cons with the new control sticks. Now, we took apart those sticks ourselves and did a comparison in a video. They're designed exactly the same. It's really hard to tell. I don't have the proper testing equipment on hand to test materials. One of the biggest things they can do to improve the wear and tear on those Joy-Con, on the drifting issue, is to just use higher quality parts. And it's hard to tell in an initial teardown when they look identical if the parts are using higher quality plastics and metals and everything. It's very difficult for me to tell. I don't have the testing equipment to test, certain component makeup and stuff like that. There are people out there that do, but to date, I don't think anyone has actually put this material from inside the new ones into these testing variables to find out if Nintendo's actually telling the truth or not. So at this point, I think it's going to be this wait and see approach, because we know all Switch OLEDs come with the supposed new Joy-Con. So because of that, let's see if drift reports on Switch OLED start cropping up as quickly as they have for all the other Switches that have been out there. Also, we can maybe infer that things have gotten better if we get to the end of 2022 and people are kind of not really complaining about drift anymore. Like, if Joy-Con drift starts to sort of fade away as a conversation point, it would likely be because it's not as prevalent as it once was, which would back up Nintendo's claims. So the best we can do right now, without us having the proper testing equipment to see the material makeup of the old sticks versus the new sticks, is to simply go, hey, let's just see what happens a year from now. Because usually within a year, you'll see drift in some form on one of your control sticks. Usually the left one drifts first because it gets the most amount of use compared to the right stick, just because it's like the movement stick in every game, unless you flip controls. So, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see on that. That's the only approach we can at least do publicly, because again, I don't have the equipment. I know some of the equipment that's needed to do it. I also know how expensive that equipment is, so we're not going to have it anytime soon. All right, I think that's all I think that covers everything. We got the Metroid sales, we got the drift, the thing we talked about a little bit more. Cool, I think that is everything. Now, a lot of this again will appear in tomorrow's video. It might not be the lead headline, but maybe there's potentially additional details coming that I want to make sure that get covered from other outlets that talk to Doug Bowser. But I think that kind of does the trick. So that being said, let me get to what some of you guys are saying in the chat about some of this stuff here. All about quality. Then why did you release? Why did you all release in that state from launch? Yeah, again, there's going to be people that are going to be critical, which the criticism is fair, about Doug Bowser's remarks that are all about quality, great content, great value. Now, I argue there's a lot of great content on Switch. I don't think that's as debatable, although there's a lot of people who really don't like Nintendo's output of games. Like, they don't enjoy the games Nintendo has on Switch. It's all subjective. Recall you said that Nintendo used to make custom emulators for each game they ported. Yes, they did. There was a guy, I think his name was Tim, that was in charge of all the emulation on the GameCube and Wii. And yeah, they used to do literally custom emulators for each game so there wouldn't be bugs. That doesn't mean that some bugs didn't get through, but conversely, because of the customization of the emulators, you actually had better. This is where some people might complain about input lag. If you didn't play N64 games on an N64, because there was input lag on the N64, and you first experienced N64 games on Wii, there was almost zero input latency on Wii. That's how good those emulators were. The input latency with a wireless Wiimote. Now, we're not even talking about some crazy new technology like what the Xbox supposedly uses, because the Xbox uses some technology that's supposedly better than Bluetooth for controller latency. We're talking about bare basic wireless technology somehow had better input latency than a wired N64 controller on the Nintendo 64. That's how good those emulators were. Then when we got to Wii U and now Switch, they got rid of custom emulators for each game and went with a standardized emulator, which brought back some issues that emulators have, and also brought back the input latency, which the input latency actually seems to line up with the same input latency as the original N64 did. But of course, if you never played that and you only experienced them on Wii, to you it might feel like off, right? Playboy 182. He says, which had the worst stick, the Joy-Con or the N64? I would say the N64. Now, again, this is going to be completely subjective. There are people that I know that have their original launch N64 controller working perfectly fine to this day. I question how that's possible. It also is likely that they maybe haven't just played the same games that are super intensive on control sticks. Certain Mario Party games. There's a certain mini game in Pokemon Stadium that you'll want to palm the stick to get a really good spin. And because of that, you actually put a lot of pressure on the stick that's abnormal for a thumb. But here's the thing. The N64 control sticks would actually break. That white powder you got from those sticks, that was the stick breaking. You were breaking the stick. And a lot of N64 control sticks just broke. It wasn't just drift. They just really didn't work anymore. Whereas with the Joy-Cons, yes, drift really sucks, but there are some solutions like, electric contact cleaner and stuff like that that can extend the life of that drift before you actually replace the stick or send them to Nintendo. So because of that, there wasn't really a fix for the N64 controllers. You had to either replace the stick or get warranty to replace it. The sticks just break. Whereas drift can be combated for a little while anyways, an extra year or two, depending on how bad your drift is. So I would say the N64 control stick was worse from my experience because I owned a bunch of games that had a lot of stick mechanics, and we broke those sticks like crazy. Didn't matter if they were first-party or third-party controllers. They all broke just nuts. But let me get your little shot in here. Let the head on that settle down. Replacement sticks exist. Yes, of course they do. Replacement sticks exist for every controller. It's not a question of if replacement sticks exist. Most consumers are not willing to take apart their electronics and replace things themselves. To me, it's not a problem. A lot of people aren't willing to do that. There is inherent risk, not just about warranty voiding, which technically in the US, it has now been defended in the court of law that taking apart your own electronics does not void the warranty. So when you see the little, if this sticker is broken, warranty is void, nope, that is not legally defensible. They have to honor your warranty claim. However, just because you broke that seal and they still have to cover under warranty doesn't mean in opening the device you didn't cause other damage that won't be covered by warranty. So as an example, I broke the rail cable on this Switch OLED right there. I broke the rail cable on it, and because of that, the right Joy-Con no longer charges on there. Okay, Nintendo's not going to cover that by warranty because I broke that in the process of taking apart the Switch OLED. So that's one of those things to consider, that while there might be some other things in general they still might be willing to cover on this device. I also have different thermal paste on it, and I've done so much tearing down and putting back together that most of what their warranty would cover at this point is voided because I tampered with individual components inside of it. I didn't just take the back plate off, I took the whole damn thing apart. As an example, the screen's broken. They won't replace that screen, right? I have to do it. So there's a lot of little ins and outs when it comes to warranty stuff. Cheers, though. But yeah, most people won't replace their own components. You should definitely try out Dr. Pepper cream soda. I'm not a big cream soda guy. No, I have tried what you're talking about. I'm just not a big cream soda guy. Don't pull a beat 'em ups. What, and fry the battery? Your N64 control stick never broke. Nice. Speaking of replacing electronics, I'm replacing this battery in my sister's Switch Lite tomorrow. Fun. It's not too bad. Just make sure you use a stiff enough credit card. I have a little method I do that people cringe every time I do it, where I try to get the credit card wedged under there about a good inch, and then I will take a super wide flathead screwdriver, stick it underneath that credit card, and pry up. Now you might go, but Nate, that's like not the best way to remove a battery. You still might poke through that credit card and into the battery, and you are 100% correct. However, I've removed several batteries from many electronic devices using the same method and never actually had it happen. Now, I happen to use a really thick plastic card stock that's harder for me to puncture the card, let alone the battery, but to each their own, right? There's obviously better methods. There's ways you can melt the glue a little bit by heating up the battery, but you don't want to heat up the battery too much because it's really bad. The battery, you don't want to cause a battery explosion. But there are other methods that can work to loosen up that glue. Sometimes you could just literally yank on it and it'll just come out. But try to fix my drift. Now my Joy-Con can't be 1 foot away without losing connection. Any suggestions? Sylvester Favela, I don't know what you did to fix your Switch that did that. Did you take apart the Joy-Con? Because you might have because if you're having an issue with connectivity more than a foot away, that to me means you messed up the antenna, or the antenna is no longer connected. Because the newer, I think some of the newer Joy-Con designs have an attached antenna. I don't know. I'd have to look at your Joy-Con to see what you did, or you broke the trace for the antenna. That could happen too. So there's a lot of I need more information on your specific Joy-Con to know what to do. Because the easiest way to fix any sort of thing is to find the source of the antenna, get out a piece of wire, a really thin piece of gauge wire, and solder it to the actual antenna port, and then run it back up the side of the motherboard inside the Joy-Con, and then put it back together, and that should give you your signal back. But again, I don't know specifically what you did or what damage you must have caused to interrupt the signal, because clearly it's not putting out and or receiving a very strong signal anymore. So something got damaged when you were messing with the Joy-Con. My opinion, Nintendo should re-release the next gen console between 2024 to 2026. And I think you're the first person to bring up 2026. I think 2024 makes a lot of sense. 2025 would fit Nintendo's current timetable as they've announced. So we'll see. I don't want Nintendo to watch Switch's momentum die before they give us a new device. Because if the momentum dies, interest in the next device will not be as high as it would have been if they had done it while momentum for Switch was still strong. Now, it doesn't need to be peak momentum. Like PlayStation 4 wasn't at peak momentum, back in 2019. Wasn't at peak momentum, but it was still selling 20 million a year. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. One you could never do? Game Boy game battery replacements. Yeah, taking apart Game Boy cartridges, some of them are really easy. Some of them are just, you remove like 4 screws, boop, pops right open. And then it's just a little special battery. You can find it like we have a place called Battery Plus around us that pretty much has every single type of battery there is. And you can find the battery there and replace it. But obviously when you do that, there's a high chance that the moment that battery is removed, if it is failing, you erased all your save files. But if you don't care about keeping your save files, because there is a way, it's a weird way, but there is a way to actually, like, if the battery isn't dead yet, so the save files are still there, to actually not lose power and not have the memory wipe while you do a battery swap. But I'm not going to tell you the way that I do that because, let's just say, the way I do it's a bit more dangerous. There's actually proper equipment to maintain the proper power levels while you're changing a battery to not lose save files. But I don't have that equipment. But yeah. Also, by the way, if my audio, like my microphone, cuts out at some point, I apologize. I need to talk about some changes in my setup, and this hasn't changed. Although I think I'm going to move this, but I'll explain in a moment here because there's a reason I'm able to do things like this again. Where I can be like, "Oh man, hold on a second, let me show you something. Let's talk about this quick. Oh man." Oh man, there's a reason I can do this. What is this? Oh no, now I could do this again. And I could be like, look, here's the Nintendo Prime Podcast. This is a new YouTube channel we have. I can show you things. Because I got some things working again. We haven't had this setup working pretty much regularly since E3, so I'm really happy about this. So yeah, by the way, this is the Nintendo Prime Podcast YouTube channel. We have a new YouTube channel just for the podcast. We're trying to get it to 1,000 subscribers. Because once we get to 1,000 subscribers, we unlock all of the stream features that we need to run our podcast entirely on this channel. That's right, the Nintendo Prime Podcast, we're hoping by December will no longer be hosted right here on this channel. They'll be hosted separately on its own podcast channel. This also means that when we're done doing our standard podcast at Wednesdays at 8 p.m., live streamed on this channel, throughout the week, we can take out clips of certain topics from the prior podcast and upload them throughout the week. So the channel does get additional content weekly besides just the normal podcast. So yeah, I hope you guys decide to go subscribe to that channel. We also have the subscribe button pinned in the chat right now. But yeah, so I have my setup back up so I can now do things like that. So one thing I wanted to mention, Nancy says, will you have memberships on the Nintendo Prime podcast channel? That is a very good question. I will say this, I hope so. I don't know. I just hope so. We have to have a certain subscriber count before we can even take super chats and memberships, and I don't even know what that subscriber count is. I just know that there are certain stream features that don't work when I try to go live stream there that I need to be working, and YouTube claims it unlocks at 1,000 subscribers. We'll see. So we want to get to 1,000 subs. But right now, I'm just busy uploading old podcasts there, so that's why you see episode 1, 2, and 3. Tomorrow we'll probably put up episode 4, 5, and 6. I got to get it all caught up. So we probably won't be streaming the podcast there this upcoming week. We'll still be doing it right here on this channel. But again, as soon as we get to the requisite subscriber count, yep, the podcast is out of here. Now, we're still going to have 3 streams a week right on this channel. 4 streams this week because you get this bonus stream tonight. We're not going to be streaming Monday, Tuesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. Central Time. What are we doing on those days? Well, Monday and Friday are going to be our standard streams, kind of like this one. It's a Q&A thing. We talk some news. We shoot shit. We have some shots. We do some fun. Our Tuesday live stream is going to be a game stream. Oh, what? Nintendo Prime's going to play games? Goddamn right I am. Oh, yeah. We're playing some games on this channel. I'm not sure what game it's going to be on Tuesday. I will note that if it's a multiplayer game that isn't like, if it's a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe tournament, everyone can enter that. But if it's like we're playing Splatoon 2, or we're playing, Mario Party Superstars, or some other multiplayer game that has a limited amount of people that can join, you will need to be a member or a Patreon member at patreon.com/NintendoPrime, or just hit that join button and become a member here and join the member of the board of directors to be part of those multiplayer sessions. Now, the chat and the stream will all be public and everyone can talk, but if you want to play, that's just a bonus, a perk for our members. And as you see, we have, 164 of them? So, we have plenty of members to fill up any multiplayer game we probably play. Beyond that, by the way, it won't always be multiplayer games on Tuesday. Sometimes it'll be single player. As an example, maybe I play Metroid Dread this upcoming Tuesday. Who knows? We'll see what happens. I haven't decided what game I'm going to play yet. Pretty much won't decide till the day of, and then I will inform our members that day on our Discord server in case they want to make sure they're there to play a certain game or whatever. I'll try to have so basically I'll have a stream schedule. You're just not going to know what the game is on Tuesdays until the day of. Besides that, my normal news video with multiple stories in it will start going up at 11 a.m. Central Time, Monday through Friday. Weekends are still going to be kind of a crapshoot. You get what you get. And any other breaking news videos about a single story or any breaking discussion videos, and that stuff will all be in addition to our normal 11 a.m. show. Now, there is obviously a caveat. If there's a Nintendo Direct that day that's taking place around the time that news video would come out, obviously the news video is delayed because we're live streaming the Nintendo Direct, right? I think that's a pretty obvious. We're not going to publish content as news is literally landing. Let's wrap up the Direct and then get that video up. But you guys know that. You guys are reasonable. I tried to go to the podcast channel and it said it's age restricted. Is there any way you could fix that? Yeah. Hold on. So the podcast channel. It's funny that it's age restricted because it's set to the same age as this channel. I'm very curious about the age restrictions they put on my podcast channel because we drink, we cuss, we swear, we do all the same things that happen on that channel here. And this channel is set to not for kids. And yet this channel is not age restricted. So all these podcast episodes, by the way, are also on this channel. So there's nothing on that channel that isn't here. Yet that channel's age restricted with the exact same settings, and this channel is not. Ask me if that actually makes sense. Doesn't make sense to me. But I will go check the settings right now and see if there's anything I could do to make it viewable by you. I don't know if there is anything I can do. Save. You could try now. I just changed a setting. Maybe it'll work now. Maybe it won't. I have no idea. All right. Man, did we really lose that many subscribers? No, we didn't. I thought for a second we lost like 70, but no, that was just an old back end look. So Timothy, you could try now. If it doesn't work now, I don't know what to tell you. Everything is set exactly the same. YouTube must just not like the new channel. Typical YouTube AI is broken again. Yeah, as I said, it makes no sense to me that it's not. Now again, we tried it. We want to get that channel to 1,000 subscribers. Obviously, subscribe mostly if you really enjoy our podcast. You guys like Eric, by the way? Guess what? Eric is now going to be at that channel. So, like, you're not going to see Eric very often. Still going to be here for our 28th stream, where we're doing the Prime giving. He's going to be around for the Game Awards as well. But really, a lot of people on this channel might start to not know who Eric is unless they also watch our podcast channel. So, if you love Eric and he's primarily here on the podcast, really go subscribe to that channel. And I'm telling people right now, this isn't a requirement. Please hit the bell icon because I want you to actually be notified. I know it's going to be weird for the first week or so here as I'm getting old episodes up. You're going to get notifications on old podcast episodes. You can ignore those if you want, or you can go watch them. I really don't care. You guys have already seen them. But don't get annoyed by that. I just got to get everything updated. We have 3 episodes up right now out of 24. So I've got 21 episodes. I want to try to do 3 episodes a day for the next week, so they're all up. And then the channel's just going to kind of sit dormant until we start doing podcasts over there. So I really hope that we can hit the subscriber goal over there soon, because the sooner we get there, the happier we'll all be. Yeah. Obviously, I expect viewership to be a lot lower on the podcast for a little while because, it doesn't get pushed to people who haven't seen it before. I don't know. I'm still going to try to feature it on the channel when it happens. There's going to be a lot of cross-promoting, let's put it that way. You want your Eric. Yeah, they're basically the Eric notification. So yeah, set your bell for that. By the way, this is something that I announced in our Discord server, and I'll tell all 97 people here. We were at 103 before, whatever. Everyone who subscribes to our Nintendo Prime podcast channel this month, or really before we do our Prime Giving giveaway, gains an extra entry into the Switch OLED giveaway. Doubles your chances into our Switch OLED bundle giveaway. So, yeah. If I see your username subscribed on the Nintendo Prime podcast, you get 2x the entries. So, there is that little incentive as well. But I really hope you're just going there because you want to watch the dang podcast. Take a 6 10. Hey, DJ. What's up, man? Taker 6 for $5 says, I want Nintendo to replace base Switch with a home-only console with the X1 at a higher clock, more built-in memory, and a Pro Controller for $249.99. We're all free to have dreams. The funny thing is, the Nintendo Switch can handle higher clocks than it currently has, as has been proven by several hackers that run their Switch at higher clock speeds 100% of the time. So it's not that there's not enough heat dissipation already there for docked mode to use higher clock speeds. It just doesn't. So in talking about having a standalone, because obviously we have a portable only Switch and Switch Lite, so a standalone one that hooks up to your TV. You're asking for it to have more built-in memory. I presume you don't mean more RAM, because would be a significant change. But maybe more storage, right? So go from the 64 gigs to 128 or something. I would hope for even more than that, but whatever. And then let's say it has a Pro controller packed in with it instead of Joy-Con. And then let's say it has obviously the X1 at higher clock speeds, and then it would obviously be a different design. I still don't think you'd get that for $249.99, because it would be the most powerful Switch on the market. They're not going to give you the most powerful Switch on the market at less than the. Now you might go, but the other ones have detachable controllers. The other ones have, a screen and a battery. Like, that's going to make them more. It doesn't matter. Logically, for Nintendo, most powerful Switch is not going to be cheaper than the normal Switch. So I can already tell right now the price point wouldn't be cheaper. And Nintendo's just not going to do it in general. There's too many games built around the Joy-Con, and not having the Joy-Con packed in, it would be a problem. And then if you do pack the Joy-Con in with the Pro controller, suddenly that's even more money to spend. I like that you're thinking outside the box, although I don't think you're the first one to have this thought. I just also think Nintendo's never going to do that, at least not with this device. I'm not saying they'll never make a traditional home console again. Can't put that past Nintendo to go that route again. But I don't think they have any interest in doing that kind of system anytime soon. I would suggest just finding a version 1 Switch, hacking it, and overclocking it. You'll get the same thing you want already, and just throw in a micro SD card. Problem solved. You can literally do this right now. It's really easy to hack those Gen 1 Switches. Like, super easy. You can even buy them pre-hacked if you want right now off eBay. There's ones that you can buy already pre-hacked, already has the firmware on there for you to go in and edit all that setting. Sorry about your Seahawks. Packers outplayed them. I'm not a Seahawks fan. You talking about Seahawks 24 rule? As I say, I'm not a Seahawks fan. Packers definitely outplayed them. Not that Rodgers played fantastically well. I mean, he threw for almost 300 yards, but he didn't exactly have a great game. Although, credit to Seattle for that. Seattle, they were spanking the Packers' offensive line in the passing game. Now, the Packers' offensive line did good in the run game. But in that passing game, the Packers' offensive line got destroyed by the Seahawks. But the Packers' defense did what it's done to Patrick Mahomes and now Russell Wilson. The big-name quarterbacks are packing up, where the Packers' defense is shutting down the best quarterbacks in the league. Like, the Packers' defense, it feels weird to say, it might be elite. That passing defense especially. Even with Jair Alexander injured. Is it elite? Is that an elite defense? It's starting to feel like it. Anyways, that's it for the Packers talk there. All right. Let me check out some stuff from the chat here. I was just checking the score of the Chiefs are rocking the Raiders, which I kind of figured was going to happen. All right. I think the next Nintendo console will launch with Metroid Prime 4 because of Metroid Dread. I don't think so. I think Metroid Prime 4 is still going to come out on this Switch. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if you can call the Packers defense underrated. Again, I don't want to talk much about that game today. It's not related to the channel. But yeah, the Packers defense has been, I don't know what happened. Like that Douglas guy that we picked up like 4 or 5 weeks ago off of the Arizona practice squad. I don't know what Arizona was doing with that guy. Were they just stashing him and hoping no one would grab him? Because he's really good. Like, starting caliber cornerback good. And he's playing nickel for us right now. Like, he has been fantastic. Eric Stokes is amazing. Everyone that passed on him in the draft is just dumb. Eric Stokes is maybe the best cornerback to come out of the draft. And we don't even have Jair Alexander right now. We already knew our safeties were good. Our front seven isn't the best at stopping the run. That's the one thing I'll say. The Packers defense isn't perfect, but their passing defense is. I mean, it's hard to find a better secondary in the NFL right now. I mean, you can find ones that have bigger names, but are they really better? Do you think RGT is gonna play Ball in Wonderland from the bet he made, or what do you think is gonna happen to their bet? Well, I don't think we're gonna know for 3 months, of course, because we're gonna need all the official numbers to be in for Metroid Dread. I honestly don't know. I would like to think it's safe to assume it's going to sell 3 million copies. But you know what happens when you make assumptions on something that's never happened in the history of a certain franchise. Suddenly you get bit in the ass and it never happens. RGT85 even made a video updating it recently where, he jokingly kind of said that he's screwed, but then he's like, but also I don't think I'm screwed because I always knew the game was going to sell this well right away. It's that he doesn't think the game's going to be evergreen enough to sell enough copies that he's going to have to worry about it. So he's essentially banking on the fact, oh yeah, maybe it gets to 2 million. Heck, maybe it even gets to 2.5, and he still won't have to play Ball in Wonderland. He does not think it's hitting 3 million. So, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. I fully expect him to man up to the bet if it does happen, but he's still not sold that it will. So we'll have to wait and see. Metroid, again, doesn't have a proven track record to say that it's going to. CX24 will re-upped his membership. He's now at 6 months. Awesome for being 6 months, man. What was your super chat in Andres live stream about? Right, I super chatted $5 to Andres today. I can't talk about it. I'll just leave it at that. I can't talk about it. I think Andres got a little bit of hint off of what I said, and then he just didn't say anything. But yeah, I can't talk about it. And if you didn't get the hint, that's okay. So one thing I wanted to mention is that I've changed my streaming setup. So my camera used to run through an HDMI, a 4K HDMI cable, through an AverMedia 4K internal capture card. I've been running that setup, gosh, 1.5, 2 years, ever since I got the capture card. I've been running it that way. And I've been running here, I can actually unhook this now because we're not going to use it anymore. That's right, it's all Velcroed up, hooked up down here. Unplug all this crap. So we've been using this to stream games. This is an Elgato HD60. I bought this, gosh, I think I've had this since Skyward Sword came out, so 10 years ago, because I had a review copy of Skyward Sword when I worked at Zelda Informer, and I recorded all my footage for the game on this thing, the Elgato HD60. So I've had this thing for a decade. Technically still works when it wants to. And as people might remember during E3, while it worked in our pre-test before we started our shows, frequently when we would go to do our game tournaments, our Smash gameplay, magically, this thing wouldn't work. What a pain in the ass. And the thing is, we weren't even going to be using this for E3. We were going to use our AverMedia 4K capture card. But we had 2 cameras, and we wanted to run our cameras through Elgato cam links. We had 2 4K Elgato cam links. Problem was, my old computer on a Ryzen 2700X platform did not have enough lanes available to the USB 3.0 ports on the motherboard to actually support 4K cam links. So because of that, especially 2 of them, we weren't able to do that. Here's the thing. We have a new editing rig that we've had for a while now with a 5900X in it, 6700 XT. I'm using the same RAM that I borrowed from the old computer. Let's just say our bandwidth is much better, and I am now, as of today, this is the very first live stream ever, running off an Elgato 4K cam link. This is the first time in channel history we have used that specific piece of technology technically during a stream. It works flawlessly now. Now, I do obviously want to ask you guys one thing. This is something I can't confirm on my end. How is my audio synced with the camera? That's the only thing I was unable to test before I went live today. I can't tell. because there's always going to be a slight delay on my end to the live. So I am curious if everything's syncing up correctly. I could fix the syncing issue if there was one, by the way. I just can't, it's something I can't pre-test for. Is the audio popping? The audio is popping. That could just be I'm too loud. Plus, I don't have a filter on this mic. Our other lav mic, like Eric was using on the podcast the other day, right here. See, it's got a filter on it. This one doesn't have a filter on it right now. I could put one on it. That could fix some of the popping as well. But some of the popping was probably just that I was peaking on stuff. So yeah, so we're using Elgato 4K stream. What is it? Elgato Cam Link 4K. That's what it is. And yeah, it is receiving a full fat 4K signal, which is awesome. We're not streaming in 4K, of course. We're downsampling at 1080, but this is a 4K image on my side being downsampled, so it might even be a little bit crisper because I wasn't quite getting the full 4K I wanted on the AverMedia card for some reason. Now, what does that mean? It means that I don't need to bother with this clumsy, doesn't work all the time capture card. Now, I'm not going to get rid of this capture card because I have a use case for this capture card. Specifically, if E3 is in person again. So if we have an in-person E3, this is how I'm going to hook my Switch up to my laptop, is with this. So if we do any streams during E3 that I need to hook my Switch up for, we're going to still need this. So this is going to be basically part of my portable editing setup, if that makes sense. This laptop's part of it. This will be part of it. And then we'll bring a cam link with as well, of course. We'll pack up the second cam link we have right now with the laptop. So then when we bring this camera, we can literally hook this camera directly up and still use this camera. So that'll be cool. I do need to get a separate weighted desk mount for that camera to use on the go. So I can like put it like right here and like not have to like drill holes or use a tripod. But there are weighted just like literal like lamp style mounts that I can get. So I'll worry about that if we go to E3 next year. But yeah, so we're using a different setup there. Also, the monitor has returned. You guys can't see it. I don't think. Nope, you guys can't see it. So I have a giant 32-inch monitor like right here. It's just off camera. So when I was reading the news, I was reading off that. So when you see this, that's on that monitor. That Nintendo Prime Pocket, like, look, I can do this. Look, a little Inception action there. There's my Streamlabs setup. There's that. There's the article we read right here. I have full access to my editing computer right here. So that's what this mouse and keyboard are for that computer. So I have full access to everything now. And what's going to happen is, and this is something I don't own yet, I'm going to get an HDMI switcher before the 28th. That HDMI switcher is going to be something that I plan to hook up like right underneath this table. And that's going to handle whether we're game streaming or showing something on the computer. I'm going to have both the second monitor, which is this monitor I'm using that I just showed you guys, and my Nintendo Switch capture stuff kind of running through the same thing. It technically, from a technical standpoint, since I'm going to be running the Switch into my Aver 4K internal capture card, I can run that directly on this screen and stream that screen to you. A little problem with the audio syncing when I do that on my end when I play the game. The audio won't be synced up well for me. It'll be synced up perfectly on stream, but not for me when I'm playing. So what I really want to do is run this through that capture card. So you get your direct feed gameplay to you guys with the audio, and then run it out of that capture card because it has an out into an HDMI switcher that also has a second HDMI cable running off the GPU plugged into it. It's got 2 channels, so I can flip a switch and out of that HDMI switcher will be plugged into this monitor. So if I hit switch 1, that'll be, hey, now you're playing Nintendo Switch gameplay, and you have it directly on this screen, which has built-in speakers. Or I hit the other switch, and it's back to being my PC monitor. Hope that makes sense. That's the plan anyways. My backup plan is to instead run it to the big TV that's behind the camera. So the camera right now is like 8 feet away from me, and then like 3 feet behind that's like a big 70-inch TV. And I can still run the game on there, but like and it'll look better because I'll be looking right at the camera. But the desktop computer, the camera, the fan that's cooling the camera, and then the studio light is all right there as well. And that's taking up like a good third of my TV real estate. So then I'd be at a bit of a disadvantage with my TV real estate. Who knows? There are things I thought about doing to fix that, by the way. As an example, I thought about remounting this TV and just putting it up as close to the ceiling as I can go. That would give me all my TV real estate back. And then I could not mess with this monitor and I could just run the switch into that TV for those streams. And then I could just have the TV remote over here and control the volume. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Knowing me, I'm probably going to move the TV up because it's just easier than my HDMI switcher. But I have a super complicated streaming setup if you didn't know. I'm like the only person who live streams that doesn't sit at the actual streaming computer. The literal computer I stream from and the main 49-inch ultra-wide monitor that I have for it is at a completely different desk setup. These are all wirelessly working with that desk setup. But I have to run like extension cables with the dongles to make them work over here. And I have like the most complicated streaming setup on YouTube, I swear. At least for a channel my size. There's probably more complicated streaming setups at places like Linus Tech Tips or something. But for a solo content creator, doesn't even 100,000 subs. This is like super complex. Also, what's cool is our podcast guests can now be on the screen. Actually, right now, I can put up the chat. I can read the chat off of here instead of reading it off of here. But yeah, I actually would like a separate, just chat monitor that like it's put like right here, right off camera. Like, so I can be like, it can like attach here if Eric and I are streaming, or I can attach like over here and you guys wouldn't see it. And it would just be like a little screen like this. And then I would just have the live chat on there. That is something I've looked into as well. So I could just have literally just a monitor, just the chat. So I never have to tab out of the chat. Tim Allen says, can you tell me anything you've heard about an upcoming game called Demon Turf? I have not even heard of that game, so I can't tell you anything that I don't know. Sunday Funday. It is Sunday Funday today. Bit of a de-stressor for me. Just one sub away to reach my first milestone. Took over a year to get here. Nice, man. Congrats, dude. Let's see here. Did you catch that RGT got a Balan Wonderland calendar? Yeah, he got that sent to him by Spawnwave. I find it funny. Spawnwave has given him a heads up on the Metroid bet. Yeah, we'll see. What's your opinion on non-official emulation? I don't care if you do it. It's up to you. I don't do it anymore. I used to when I was young. You want to partake in it? Be my guest. What am I going to do about it? I'm not going to report you. I'm not going to tell your parents if you're a kid. It's your life, man. Do what you want. What's up with the audio? What's wrong with the audio? What's wrong with the audio? Please tell me there's nothing wrong. Unless you're talking about this. Oh, everybody, we're at the stream. I really hope the auto-tune was working, by the way, or that just sounded really bad, and I'd probably destroy people's eardrums. I got yelled at because I said I was hyped for Arceus. Some Twitter user said Nintendo is anti-consumer and I am toxic. So, Logan LeBlanc, one thing about Twitter, and I've known this for a while, most people that I find to be on Twitter, I shouldn't say most people, but there's a large subsection of people on any social media platform that just want to be toxic. That doesn't mean their criticisms aren't legit. There are people that literally try to convince me on the daily that Nintendo is one of the worst anti-consumer companies in the world. And then I'll conveniently ask them, okay, I'll bite. I have a lot of criticisms of Nintendo myself. In fact, I might have more criticisms of Nintendo than people that don't actually like the company, because I enjoy the company's work so much, it makes me super hypercritical. In fact, there are things I'm critical of that there are other Nintendo fans that go, who cares? then I guess I'm a bigger fan than you are because I care. um, but hey, that's just a theory, a game theory. No, so yeah, you'll see that across the internet and across a lot of mediums. A lot of people that feel that way. So the last person I talked to about this, I asked them, okay, cool. So, what companies do you like? What products do you like to use? And they said, well, I like Apple products, and I'm like, and we're gonna talk anti-consumer, and you're using Apple. And iPhone 12 right here, I use Apple. I don't enjoy their products. You want to talk about anti-consumer practices? They're fighting an entire fight right now to shut down right to repair across the entirety of the United States. And you want to talk about anti-consumer practice. Um, and then they'll be like, oh, but I'm a big Sony guy. That's cool. Be a Sony guy. I don't care. Enjoy PlayStation. It's an amazing platform, and Sony's help fund and put out a bunch of really amazing games. I have no problem with that. But then you think they're less anti-consumer than Nintendo. So I'll ask why, and then they'll just basically talk about how it's a mature platform and not for kids. And I'll just go into what does that have to do with being anti-consumer? Nothing. Oh, well, then their emulation or their lack of respect. Oh, you mean like how Sony still doesn't have most of their library available for anyone to play? Or how Sony still doesn't like to play crossplay with other platforms. Even though they now support it, they really don't. There's too many hoops you have to jump through, and it'd be a better experience for consumers. But why won't they do it? Because they're greedy and want everyone to buy a PlayStation instead. Like, there's a billion things you can bring up about any company. If the company is a for-profit entity, yeah, it does some shady shit. It does some anti-consumer practices, all in the name of making money. Absolutely. Every company has their faults. My YouTube channel, every YouTube channel has their faults. My YouTube channel has faults. I have faults. Humans are faulty. So it's just it's a weird world you live in when you get fans of other people, of other companies' things, and then how they treat competing companies like they're the biggest POSs in the world, when pretty much all on an even playing field at this point, right? As an example, every electronic manufacturer in the world is partnered with companies like Foxconn, and Foxconn has been busted for slave labor, child labor, and bringing in blood diamonds and slave labor products and metals into making the products they make. Foxconn is also the company that had to put suicide nets outside their buildings because people were jumping off the top of the buildings wanting to kill themselves rather than work at Foxconn. This is the company's headlines at Foxconn over the last decade. All these companies still work with them. So which one's the bigger piece of shit? Is it Sony that works with them? Is it Microsoft? Is it Apple? Is it Samsung? Is it Nintendo? They all do shady shit. It's all about personal preference. Preferring one company over another doesn't inherently make the company that you don't prefer worse. Now, there might be certain things they're worse at. Factually, Nintendo is the worst of the 3 console manufacturers with online. They have the worst online setup. They have the worst online feature set. Bam. If you want to say you prefer the other platforms because they have a better online experience, you're right. They do. PC has the best online experience. Okay. Plus, gaming online on PC is free. I mean, that's how much money you save there per year. But it is, that's just the way the world works. People are mega fans of something, and they got to attack everything else. You're not going to be able to do much about it. That's just the way the world works. It's going to be that way forever. So what happened? Well, the audio is fading in and out. Here, I'll just set the levels back at where they were at because I know it was working perfectly fine at that level. So it should be a bit better now. I mean, the mic is it's a little crooked right now. It was pointed straight up at me before. We'll readjust that as well. This is also one of the older mics. I could switch to the newer ones. These newer ones are like this lav mic is my old cheap one. This is the more expensive one. The reason we don't have 2 of these right now is because Eric broke one of the clips, and these clips are different sizes from this one. So we have some clips on order specifically for these mics because we don't have any extra clips for them. That's something we should have looked at when we order these. So yeah, we got extra clips coming, and then we can go back to using 2 of these really high quality mics. Because yeah, they're just better lab mics. But right now, I leave Eric with the good one because Eric doesn't talk as loud as I do. So I want the mic that does a better job picking up his speech pattern compared to me. Because me, I talk so loud, it's pretty easy to catch me most of the time. But he can talk kind of soft, so I want to make sure he gets the better noise pickup. Works fine now. Mr. Sartun, what did he have to say? Pikmin 4. Why did he get timed out for saying Pikmin 4? Was he spamming it? I'm confused. He was okay. Yeah, he said Pikmin 4. What? You want Pikmin 4? Yeah, don't spam. I didn't really. He said Pikmin 4 a lot. You're not. Do something funny. He said. Do something funny. What? How about this? How about this? Something funny. Don't you know that I love you, baby? I love the. My heart. I don't know what you expected, and it's still going. There it goes. Turn it off. I don't know what you expected me to do. That's supposed to be for when Yulia shows up, but Yulia's doing homework right now. Yulia's doing homework right now, so that's going on. Hey, did we get a? Hold on, we might have got a direct donation I missed. 1 second here. Let me open up Streamlabs. I totally forget we occasionally get direct donations. We have a link down in the description to do direct donations if people don't want to, go through YouTube to do super chats. But let me make sure that that's what this is. I have a notification on my phone about it, so I assume that it is. But I want to make sure I read it, and I want to apologize to the person that I missed it from, even though it does show their real name. I think. Let me see here. No, Playboy182. Eric Salazar. There it is. Eric Salazar did a direct donation for $2 an hour ago. So Eric, if you're watching, I apologize for not catching this earlier. I probably didn't have the Streamlabs monitor up here where I could see the notifications. Now that I have it up right now, I can see it now, but I might not have at the time. I says, playing SMT5 with you in the background. This game is really good. Cheers to a good MP Live. Oh, yeah. No! Oh, I dropped my hat. Hat! Come back here. Use the force. That's not working. I better just grab it. Oh, we got it. Come on, hat. Don't run away on me. Don't run away. Well, thank you so much for the $2. Sorry I missed it earlier. Because I missed it, I will upgrade your shot. Let's grab. Ugh. We'll grab a little vodka. We usually save the vodka for $10 shots. So we'll do a little halvesy of vodka for me missing that. Sorry, man. Didn't mean to. It happens. Again, I'm not perfect. Remember how I told you guys I'm flawed? We're all flawed. It's okay to be flawed, as long as you can recognize it. All right. Let's see here. Your streams have been helping me through rough times lately, says StormX Quick. Well, I'm glad. I'm really glad that they are helpful to some people. They're helpful to me too. It wasn't like a super stressful day when it came to the kids. The kids were mostly good today. But for those who don't know, I have children. I'm in college, and I had to help my fiance with some of her college homework. I had a bunch of my own homework to do. and I got really overwhelmed. I got it all done, and I'm a little bit relieved, and I felt like kind of celebrating my relief by doing a bonus stream today. So if you're wondering why we're streaming on a Sunday night, it's because I needed to kind of wind down from college level homework. It's rough. All right, let's get this down the trap. Probably the one and only time I do that for a $2 dono. Thank you, though. I appreciate the support. Try Shiv's Regal Scotch. It's pricey but smooth, probably. I haven't had Scotch in a while. I don't mind Scotch. For a minute there, I thought Mrs. Prime was at your door because I did the ooh la la. Yeah. It hat pins. I'm getting a COVID test tomorrow and a little bit nervous about that because I have a cold already. Or you have COVID. Which technically a COVID virus is a type of cold and flu virus. It's just a different strain and a more serious strain in some regards. I can understand why you're a little nervous. Also, just try to remember it is that time of the year and there's going to be colds and flus and everything going around too, especially as mask mandates aren't everywhere anymore. So now there's going to be a higher chance, or like, sometimes the mask mandates are there only if you're unvaccinated. So there's going to be a higher chance of just the normal stuff going around now, the colds and the flus that were cut down last winter because of the mask mandates. So you might just have a standard cold or flu or something. But if it is COVID, I mean, you'll probably be fine. Most people that get COVID are fine. Even if they get the symptoms that make them lose taste and stuff like that, after a couple weeks, they're usually back to normal without any issues. Now, there are some people that survive it, but then have extra complications long haul. And there's obviously people that die. We don't want to dive too deep into the super negative there, but that happens. But a lot of those people have pre-existing conditions and other extenuating circumstances, genetically or age-wise, that led to it being a bit more damaging than it is for others. So, even if you have COVID, don't be too scared. The only real reason I could think of to be super scared if you have COVID is, one, if you've had family members who had it, who had major adverse reactions. Okay, that's pretty scary then if you get it, because that means you might have a genetic connection that could, cause some really bad stuff. Or two, if your work sucks and if you get COVID, you just don't get paid for 2 weeks. And then when you're trying to claim your unemployment for those 2 weeks, they delay that unemployment and it takes over 2 months to get your unemployment for those 2 weeks. Meanwhile, your bills are still due and there's nothing you can do about it because the money the government's going to give you because you have COVID won't arrive in time to actually pay those bills, and then you get evicted. So there's a lot of crap that can happen because of it, and that can be scary. But if you're like a kid that lives with their parents, they're like, okay, you get a couple weeks off school and you get homeschooled, it's not too big a deal. You're probably a bigger deal for your parents because they've been exposed to you, because then they can't go to work. But try to look on the bright side. It's probably just a cold. It is that time of the year and colds are going around. Also with COVID, I always say with COVID, we have to reach a point that we stop being as scared. And I'm not saying that as like promoting vaccines or not promoting vaccines. I'm vaccinated. So you make your own personal choice. I'm not going to force anyone I know to get vaccinated. I'll just talk about my experience with getting vaccinated and any effects I had and any effects I still have today, which is none. So yeah, I have no problem with getting vaccinated. I know it doesn't make you immune. I know it doesn't mean you can't get COVID. I've always known that. They never said that's what this vaccine does. In fact, it doesn't make you less likely to contract COVID. It's one of the common misconceptions is that getting the vaccine makes you unable to get COVID. No. Getting the vaccine makes you less likely to get COVID. No. You could still contract it just as easily as anybody else. Vaccine just prepares your body to fight COVID once contracted. It doesn't prevent. There's no preventative measure. None of the vaccines for COVID prevent anything in terms of contracting COVID. So you were just as likely to get COVID with or without the vaccine. The vaccine does is give you a less likely chance to have the severe negative effects of COVID, and it helps you recover from COVID faster. So instead of 2 weeks of quarantine, maybe you only need 5 days. But personal choice. I will say this, though. At some point, we need to accept COVID's never going away. There has not been a single COVID-related virus, which again, the common cold is a COVID virus. The flu is a COVID virus. Notice how the common cold and the flu haven't gone away? This COVID strain isn't going anywhere. It's going to pretty much be around as long as people exist. So at some point, we either need to have a over-the-counter medication that people can take that will help deal with this kind of stuff and then make it a non-factor. As an example, when you buy cold medicine, it doesn't make you get better. Common misconception is, oh man, I've been downing Dayquil and NyQuil, I feel better. No. What you're doing is managing the symptoms. So if you have a sore throat, what does that Dayquil do for your sore throat? Not anything that Tylenol wouldn't have. The Dayquil has Tylenol in it. It's a pain reliever that helps your throat feel a little bit less painful. It has cough suppressant in it, so then you cough less. Your cough isn't gone, even if you don't cough for, say, 6 hours. It's just suppressed. You're still sick. You still have the cold. You still have the flu. These medications don't get rid of that stuff. Your body fights it off. So, yeah, at some point we just have to accept that and stop being so scared. I know that might sound harsh, but we haven't been able to get rid of any other COVID virus, so why do we think we're going to get rid of this? We're never going to get rid of it. It's going to be going round and around and around the rest of our lives. So, do what you need to do to take care of your own health. Do what you need to do to take care of your own. Like history tells us, it ain't ever going anywhere. Just like the flu didn't. Just like the common cold didn't. It ain't going anywhere. So, do what you got to do to protect yourself and your family. Besides that, live your life. That's the way I view it. I got vaccinated. I'll get my children vaccinated soon. My daughter's old enough for one of the vaccines that got approved for kids. We're kind of planning to get it done, the first shot of it, when we get her flu shot, which she doesn't know yet. She hates shots. Getting her to take any shot, she just freaks out like she's a baby. It's insane. We've tried everything to make her not freak out to needles, but it is just the way she is. But when we get her flu shot this year, which we need to get done soon, we're talking with her doctor to kind of be like, hey, let's kind of sneak in a COVID vaccine shot. But that's our choice as parents. Unfortunately, it's not approved for all of our kids. What happens to those Bucks, my guy? They don't look like themselves, says Lanesville Paul. We don't talk about sports too often, but I guess we talked a bit about the Packers. I'll talk about the Bucks. I ain't worried about anything. Are you worried? Are you a Bucks fan, and are you worried about anything? I mean, let's think about what the Bucks have had happen to start the year. Well, the very first game, they look great. The very first game is also the only game that they've ever been healthy. Brook Lopez does not have a serious back injury. Some fans might think he does because he hasn't played since the first game. He doesn't. There's video footage of him doing 5-on-5 practices every week. He wouldn't be doing 5-on-5 full contact practices if he was seriously injured. You know what the Bucks are doing with Brook Lopez? And by the way, Bucks don't have a backup center. So it's really hurting the Bucks right now to not have Brook Lopez out there. So why aren't they playing him? The Milwaukee Bucks just had the shortest offseason in NBA history coming off the finals. The shortest offseason in NBA history. And Brook Lopez is like 33, 34 years old. You know what they're doing? They're giving him the month off. Oh, so why did he play in the first game? 1, rivalry game with the Nets. 2, ring night. That's the night they got the rings. Everyone was full go for that. We just got the rings. You're not going to sit out the night that you're handed your championship ring. Okay? So what are the Bucks doing? They're resting Brook Lopez for the entire first month. All right, cool. Fine. They're giving him an extra month of offseason, basically. All right, so what about the rest of the Bucks? Drew Holiday got sick. He missed a week and a half. Oh, who has COVID right now? Chris Middleton. He's now missed like 2 weeks. Oh, Giannis. Well, Giannis has been busy banging around trying to be a center all these games. So they gave him a game off the other night because Giannis is now banging down low way more than he usually does because he's now playing center, the defense at center. So, yeah, we're at a point where the Bucks are just not healthy, and they're worrying about making sure everybody's ready for the stretch run rather than worrying about winning games now. So I'm not worried about the Bucks. There's not a single game they have lost this year that if they have Brook Lopez, Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, and Giannis playing, that I think they lose. I think they wipe the floor with all these teams. But they don't have all these guys. Some of it by choice, aka resting Brook Lopez because he's older, making sure he's good to go for the stretch run. And yeah, Drew and Chris been down because they got sick. Once the Bucks are past all of this, which will happen sometime in December, you'll start to see the wins are going to start racking up, and the Bucks are going to start climbing the ratings. There's no real reason to worry about the Bucks, basically. At this point, I mean, we were starting Thanasis Antetokounmpo for crying out loud. Our 15th guy off the bench last year was starting. I mean, come on. The Bucks ain't really trying to win games right now. They're just wading water, and they'll really get the ball rolling. The Bucks learned last year. Well, they learned the last 3 seasons. The regular season doesn't matter as much as the postseason. You want everyone healthy for the stretch run, for the postseason. Now, you got to make sure you're in playoff position. You really think the Bucks aren't going to make the playoffs? They're going to flip a switch. They're the defending NBA champion who lost nobody. They're going to be PJ Tucker. They're going to flip a switch at some point before we get to Christmas. Switch is going to flip and the wins will start racking up. We have a $10 super chat to make a ya holla. Oh, what's up, GI Rocky 9 for $9.99? Thank you so much for the super chat. Let me do your voice randomizer for your $10. That was a really random voice randomizer. Felt like I was on like a tropical island. I have no idea. That was not a normal voice. Holy crud. That was, play that funky music, white boy. I'm playing that funky music. Happy birthday. Someone's birthday? $10 halves vodka shot. Not a full one. Not a full one. I wonder if we'll get a cannon blast. This is a $25 shot. This booze is, that's heavily fermented. I have had that for way too long. That dates back to the old Splatoon 2 live stream days. Who remembers those days? That's how old that booze is. The Elemental Hero, the Shadow Link, Dragon Wolf King says, any news on Pokemon Legends of Arceus? Pokemon Legends Arceus, by the way. I haven't, or Arceus. I've had people tell me that I pronounce it wrong. I have no idea. I haven't heard anything except when they brought out the Hisuian, Zora, and Zororock. Haven't seen any leaks, data mines, so on. I figured to ask. They're just biding their time. I think once Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are out, marketing campaign is going to really pick up for it. A zombie Nintendo Prime. I'm not tired. Unless you mean like I'm a literal zombie like this. Something like that. It's literally a button that says Living Dead on my keyboard. Literally, it says Living Dead. That's been there since Halloween. That last song you sang sounds like Red Hot Chili Pepper. I haven't heard that group name in a long time. How would you survive a zombie invasion? I probably won't. I'd become the leader of the zombies. I'd let them turn me. Then I'd lead them to the promised land. Have you had Dan Aykroyd's Crystal Skull Vodka? No, I have not. That sounds amazing. Just the bottle. I'm assuming it's like a crystal skull shaped bottle. That's got to be a cool looking bottle. The big nosed deer that you can ride in the new Pokemon is awesome. Nice. Best OLED cases without grips. So you mean like, yeah, so you're saying, oh yeah, I want to get a case for my Switch OLED. I'm not using a grip. What do I get? Anything that works with the current Switch. It's only 0.1 of an inch wider. It's going to fit in any of your standard Switch cases. Any cases you already own will work for Switch OLED. Now, if you happen to have one of those cases that is already super snug with a regular Switch, so it's a little bit too uncomfortable to use with the Switch OLED, that's fine. Just search up Switch OLED cases. They're pretty much all the same at this point, you know. You're either going for style or you're going for protection. You know. That freaking scared you? Well, happens, man. My streams are meant for adults, so. The last voice changer played Happy Birthday in the background. Did it? It's a voice randomizer. That's right. For any $10 super chat, I read your super chat with a voice randomizer. So if it does the Happy Birthday song, cool. It's random. I have no idea what it's going to play. Am I excited for Christmas? I like the Christmas period. Sure, you could talk about presents and good sales if you're not someone into presents, you just want to buy stuff for yourself. Like, you know, and I got kids who obviously I get to enjoy some of the spirit of Christmas through my kids now. But one thing I like about Christmas that maybe I didn't appreciate as much when I was younger is allowing myself to feel the holiday cheer. It's very easy to like get angry about Christmas. Crazy work hours at some jobs. You know, not having enough money to get all the presents that you feel like you're obligated to get for all your family members. Not being able to do this or being stressed or, you know, in Wisconsin, dealing with the snow, you know, dealing with decorating your house and tearing all the decorations down. And there's all this stuff that could lead to a little bit of extra stress. And I used to feel that way as an adult. I used to love Christmas as a kid, and then when it became my responsibility to carry Christmas forward, I didn't really enjoy it that much. But something's really happened the last, I'd say, maybe since I turned 30, so like the last 5 years. And what's happened is, and maybe this is thanks to my fiance, because Christmas is her favorite holiday of the year. I used to hate Christmas music, as an example. Like, it's not Christmas music's fault. I used to work at a store called Country Treasures that would play Christmas music on loop starting in July. And you would just hear nonstop Christmas music for like 7 months. It was insane. So I started to hate Christmas music because it's literally on repeat in my head for 8 hours a day. It gets really old. But what really happened, and I've been with my fiance for 10 years, so you figure, why did this happen 10 years ago? She didn't have as big an influence, I guess, on me 10 years ago. Is that I'm starting to really enjoy the spirit of Christmas. Sure, there's consumerism. There's all these other things you could focus on in the negative. And how, like, I'm Roman Catholic, so to me, Christmas is about Christ. And so, like, seeing all the distractions away from that could still be a little disheartening. But there is a certain charm I've come to love about Christmas time. A certain, if you allow yourself, it's very uplifting. As an example, Christmas music. What's a common trend in Christmas music? It's cheery. It's uplifting. It's delightful. Some of these words are even used in the songs. It's happy. Everything focused around Christmas time is about happiness. And if you don't allow yourself to feel that, you're really missing out. So Christmas has actually slowly become one of my favorite times of year because it's so cheery. Even with all the stress and the different Christmases and organizing things with family members, just sit back and take it all in and enjoy the fact that everything is joyous if you just let it be. This isn't, your normal everyday life where you're in the middle of summer and sometimes, you might be in that mood where life sucks and then you turn on the radio and then you hear a song saying, "Kill me!" or "I hate this," or "Kill me," or "Sex sucks," or "I can't get women," or whatever, but during Christmas time, a lot of times you'll turn on the radio and it's uplifting, cheery Christmas music. It's beautiful Christmas lights. Like one thing snow sucks, but you know what doesn't suck about snow? Driving around at night in Wisconsin and just looking at all the lights that people set up. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's a beauty that really is exemplified during the holiday season because of the snow in my area. Yeah, other places do Christmas lights, but imagine doing it when you have that pure white snow, multiple feet of it. In the Midwest, it's awesome. It's amazing. It's beautiful. Not that far away from me, there's one of those houses that does those music things with the lights too. So it's like an hour drive, and you can go watch that for an evening and have a nice romantic evening, enjoying a free show that people just put on at their house. There's we have a local park in my hometown called Irvine Park that is well known in all of Wisconsin for its decorations. It's one of the most decorated parks for the holiday in Wisconsin. And that's saying something considering where Chippewa Falls is located. Crazy. And it's beautiful. And it's amazing. And it's the one time a year, as much as it can be stressful organizing things with family members, it's the one time a year that I even see some of my family members. There are certain family members, I literally see them around Christmas time and then never again. I won't see them for a year. This presumes that they're still alive a year from now, right? Like I have some family members, like Uncle Butch, he's way up there. He is the brother to my now deceased grandfather who passed away around Halloween of 2018. He passed away 3 years ago, and that's his brother, his older brother. I don't know which Christmas is going to be my last with him, so I try to enjoy the ones that I do get with all of my family members, no matter their age, because who knows when that's going to be the last time that specific gathering of people happens. I've learned to not take for granted the things I took for granted in my younger adult years. And maybe it's because of the death of my grandfather. Granted, it happened when I was like 32. But it did help me increase my enjoyment of the holidays because when he passed away in 2018, and I got to that year's Christmas, there was a lot of tears. Not a lot of joy. Because we missed having them there. The things we used to complain about, like the way he would insult my mom for being drunk, or having too much to drink on the holidays. Suddenly that became something you just missed because it was holiday tradition. Holiday tradition for him to make some inappropriate comment to my mom about having too much to drink. My mom wasn't doing anything crazy. She would just like fall out of her chair or something and everyone's having a good laugh. And here's my grandpa in the corner making a comment about my mom being a drunk when my mom only drinks like 3 times a year. So it was like my mom would take offense, but also, that's a thing you miss. It's like a tradition. Or like when my grandmother, there was a tradition that doesn't happen now with my grandma Berta, where when her and my other grandpa were still together, they're divorced. But when they were together, there was a tradition at her house where every year she would be the one handing out the presents from under the tree to the other family members. And let's just say she's got kind of a wide bottom. And so every year it was a joke that, we would get like a high quality picture of her bending over, picking up the presents. And then, we'd put together a little Christmas letter talking about the experience this year. And it would always feature a picture of, yes, my grandmother's butt. I know, right? It's a really weird family tradition we had. And she's still alive, by the way. But since they got divorced, that tradition went away. And it's a stupid tradition. Who cares, right? Like, kind of inappropriate, but it was funny. Like, it was like an in-joke with the family. We don't get that anymore. So, yeah, I really appreciate Christmas time now. I mean, Yulia is an example, who's now in the chat, baby. I don't think you experienced. Did you ever experience the Berta tradition of bending over in front of the tree to hand everyone presents? I don't think we were together when my grandparents were still together. Pretty sure that they had their issues before we got together. So I'm not sure you got to experience that family tradition. But wide bottom, she's got back. Oh, she's got a Grand Canyon. But I love my grandma. It's my mom. Yeah, my mom doesn't really hand out the presents though anymore. But yeah, honey, I know you were wondering when I was going to come to bed. I saw your text. I'll probably be up there in like 20 minutes. You know me, I don't want to make any exact promises, but probably like 20 minutes, I'd say. All right. Let's see here. By the way, Yulia's in the chat. You know what that means. Baby. Don't you know I love you? Oh, she hates that thing. I haven't done that one to her in a long time. She hates that. One of the things I love about Christmas is the kids' concerts and things at church. Sure. There's a lot of things. Like I've really become someone who really enjoys Christmas time. My favorite holiday is still Halloween. There's a caveat to that. I don't really get to do what I want to do for Halloween really anymore. We did dress up this year, so that was nice. Yulia and I dressed up as bank robbers from Money Heist. But one thing I really like doing for Halloween, one, I really want to decorate our house. We don't really decorate for Halloween. I like decorating. Not necessarily the pumpkin carving, but all the other decorations I like to do. And we haven't done that pretty much like ever. We've done like a few little things, but I've always wanted to go fully decked out and like make my whole yard this crazy haunted village kind of thing. I have this whole concept I've always wanted to do that, of course, costs like thousands of dollars, so I've never done it. And then just in general, I like the idea of dressing up in costumes. I like going out to like Halloween parties at local bars, which again, I haven't done that in a long time. And then I also like going to haunted villages. There's a couple that happen in Minnesota, but there used to be more ones locally. Unfortunately, all the local ones have shut down. But I like doing that stuff as well. Like Halloween's one of my favorite times of the year, like literally my favorite holiday. And I don't get to do like any of that. Like, Yulia, when's the last time you and I went to a haunted village? Like Village of Terror. When's the last time we went to that? God. What's it been? 4 years? 5 years? It's been a hell of a long time since we went to Village of Terror. Let alone last time that we dressed up and actually went out on Halloween to, you know, our favorite pubs with friends. Like, when's the last time we did that? You know, there's also like zombie pub crawls that are a lot of fun I used to do. Like, I love Halloween, man. It's awesome. But I just don't get to really do a lot of the things that I love about Halloween anymore. Or as often. I should say as often. We did dress up this year, so that was nice to bring that back. But more I want to do. Christmas lights are cool. People used to call me Ooh La La instead of Yulia. Yup. Why do you think I love this? Literally, it's like a button that was created just for you. Literally, it's like this little song exists just for you, Miss Ooh La La. Or packaging peanuts because I'm originally from Russia and that was a mail order. People are gonna ask me that once we're officially married, honey. They're gonna be like, so, because you're so much better looking than me. They're like, yeah, where'd you get this mail order bride from? Russia? Oh yeah, figures. Don't push your buttons, Nate. It's been a long time because the kids work in college. Yeah, it's just life that gets in the way of the things that I really enjoy about Halloween. But I plan to still do some of this stuff. I plan to go on a zombie pub crawl again someday. I plan to go out to the bar dressed up fully in costume with all of our friends and have fun again. And I do plan to go back to Village of Terror and these other stuff again. I plan to do all of it again. It's just a question of when. I don't know. You know? I also, by the way, honey, I've been wanting to do this forever. I want to take you by yourself first, then the kids. later. I want to take you to the Minnesota Renaissance Fair. I've been wanting to do it for 10 years, and I don't know why I haven't made it happen yet. I want to take you to the damn Minnesota Renaissance Fair. It's awesome. And I want you to see why it's awesome. And then after we go together and we get to enjoy all the adult stuff there, maybe we can consider bringing the kids in, because there's a lot of fun things for kids there too. There's a lot of fun things for kids there as well. But I want to bring you there first so we can get the full adult experience, which I don't know that I've gotten, really. Because I haven't gone since, God, I was 21. So yeah, I'd like to go just you and me so we can enjoy the adult part of it, and then maybe consider bringing the kids to it so then they can do the family stuff as well. Because they have a lot of family stuff for the kids that I think they'll think are really cool. Knights and jousting and lots of fun stuff. Mead. I asked Yulia, now you, what 5 things you can't live without? What did Yulia say? Hold up. You asked Yulia? Hold up. What was her response? I want to know what she said. Her 5 things she couldn't live without. I'm scrolling up. Yeah, honey, but it's going to snow. It's going to snow. The snow's going to be gone by Tuesday. We're going to be in the 50s again. So the snow's going to be vanishing. 5 things I can't live without. Well, Yulia and the kids. I mean, that you could argue, does that count as 4? Yulia, Melody, Oliver, Aiden. Sorry, I was trying to think of Link. So you could argue those are 5, because then there's the dog. Even though I know I have to live without him someday, because he's not going to be here forever. Right now, he's only 2 years old, 2.5 years old, so he's part of my family. So those are, I guess you could argue that those are the 5 things I can't live without. People might say, what about your YouTube channel? I could live without the YouTube channel. Video games, I can live without video games. I can live without my phone. I can live without TV. I can live without internet. There's a lot of things I enjoy. I enjoy YouTube. I enjoy doing things online. I enjoy playing video games. But none of them are like things I need. Those are just things that I enjoy and like to do and want. And it's nice to have some things I want. It's nice that, I can do YouTube and make some money doing something I actually enjoy doing. Like, a lot of people don't get to do that, so that's amazing, and I love that. Look, I can live without it. I have lived without it. I don't need my car or this house. So, yeah. Pretty much just the things that can't be replaced. Like this YouTube channel, YouTube could destroy this YouTube channel. I can always make a new one and replace it. My computer can explode. I can always, buy new parts, build a new one, and replace it. Our car could break down and, fly into a ditch. Okay. Well, that sucks. We really like our car. But you know what? Stuff can be replaced. People can't. So Yulia, the kids, my dog. Like that's 5. Yeah. I just it's the people in my life. Like, I would like to throw my parents on there, Yulia's parents, grandparents, but said only 5, so And really, as much as I love my parents and my grandparents, I know I can survive without them, as much as I don't want to imagine a life where my parents are no longer alive. Or imagine a life where my sister, who's younger than me, is no longer alive. I don't want to imagine a world where I need to live without them. But it's really just Yulia and the kids and the dog. That, I think I could survive losing anybody else in my life but them. And the dog, I'll prepare when his time comes to let him go to. Because I know just imagining losing my dog now is just something I don't even want to think about. Because he's so young, right? But I know a time's going to come where I got to start to prepare for the reality that he might not be around. Hopefully that's when my kids are all on their way out to college. And then, that's when Yulia and I can talk about, if we want to get another dog or, something else. Do something else, move somewhere else, something crazy. All right. We're planning for next, for the wedding, yeah. Yeah, I guess we'll still have to talk to you about the wedding. But, again, I talked to our priest, or my priest today. All right. Oh, fiance. Yulia is a little too pretty for a Midwestern woman for sure. Hold up, Timothy. Do you think Midwestern women can't be pretty? Is that like, I always wonder, like, what's the assumption about Midwestern women? Do people think that every Midwestern girl is like how do I put this politely? A 300-pound bag of potato chips walking down the street, or maybe rolling down the streets more. Does like everybody think that's what all Midwestern women are like? Because that's not true. That's not true at all. There's plenty of pretty Midwestern women. I would know. I've grown up here my whole life. Yulia is special in her own way, but it stands out from the crowd to me, but not because I feel like she's an impossible, beauty that can't exist in the Midwest. Like, we have Russian heritage in the Midwest. We have German and Polish, Swedish heritage in the Midwest. Anyway. Da, 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 da. Yes, I have been skydiving. I went one time ever. Would do again. It's still scary, and I'd probably still pee my pants or pee my dive suit, but it was a cool experience. Rocky Mountain climbing, right? That's the lyric. Pretty sure from that country song. Why don't we just include family as one thing so you can list 4 other things? Well, because Jello Cowboy, let's say we just say family is one thing. Everything else is material. Think about that. So let's say, for what's 5 things you can't live without? And let's say family, all encompassing, is 1. There's nothing else I can't live without. Everything else is materialistic, unless you want to say some literal things. Good health. Well, you have really shit health, you're going to die. So, okay, fine, good health. Like, I don't know what else you want me to say. Like, everything else is material and replaceable. A job is replaceable. A home is replaceable. Vehicles are replaceable. Computers, video games, stuff is replaceable. So family's it. Family's the only thing I can't replace. I can't make another Yulia in a factory. I can get a blow-up doll that looks like her, but I can't get like a new Yulia. I can't get, you can have more kids, but I can't have another Aiden. I can't have another Oliver. I can't have another Melody. Even when we get new dogs, like say we have another dog in the future or a couple of them, especially once our kids move out and we decide we want to have multiple dogs. None of them are going to be Link. I've had multiple dogs in my life. Every single one of those dogs is fundamentally different. Not just because they're different breeds, but their personalities are different. So yeah, I can't list 4 other things because there's not 4 other things that are on the level of family. There's nothing else I can't live without. Now, I don't want to live without the internet, or live without my YouTube channel, or live without video games, or live without a house to live in and a car to drive. I don't want to live without these other things, but I can also replace all those things. So, our house burns down, we'll get a new house. Just family. We all want money. Well, everyone wants money. It's the same. Everything's replaceable. Except individual people. Or individual family. They're all different. And there's only one of them. One of each one. So, like, I can have more children, but they're not going to be Aiden, Oliver, or Melody. They're not going to be my, the kids I have now. They'll still be my kids. They'll just be their own people. You can't replace one kid with another. It just doesn't work that way. No, Nate, materialism, as in women want money. Carlos Morales, everybody wants money. Because I will say this about money. Everybody wants it. But why do you want it? Now, you just want to be rich and famous, fine. You want to do what you want to do at all times, fine. For me, and I'd love to be a millionaire someday, it'd be cool, but I'm probably never going to be a millionaire, but you never know. Maybe I will be. I'll say this. I just want to be at a point in my life where I am well off enough that I don't really need to worry about anything financially. Don't have to worry about bills getting paid because there's always enough money to handle that. I don't need to worry about, if our car breaks, can I afford to get it towed? Can I afford to fix it? No, I don't have to worry about that. I don't want to have to worry that if I retire, there won't be any money available. I don't want to have to worry what happens if a serious health incident happens. Like, I would like to be financially well off enough that I don't have to worry about money things anymore. And I don't even know when that happens because, like, my parents are well off and they're worried about money things all the time. So I'm not even sure how much. Does that mean I need to make $500,000 a year, $1 million a year? I don't know what level of income gets me to the point that I just don't worry about money anymore. But I don't need it. It's nice to have. Dude, SpongeBob is awesome. You can't live without SpongeBob. I can live without SpongeBob. I don't want to live without SpongeBob, though. Don't take my SpongeBob away from me. I don't want to live without SpongeBob. Come on, SpongeBob. Got him sitting back here. Good old SpongeBob, right? Right? That's right. I can't live without SpongeBob. I can live without it. I would really, really not like to, though. Some do find SpongeBob annoying. That is totally true. There's some people I know they don't like him. And I don't judge people harshly for not enjoying SpongeBob. Everyone enjoys their own things, And Yulia, those are the people you can trust. Oh, that's funny. You don't like SpongeBob? Can't trust it. You can't live without music? I could live without music. I don't want to live without music. Maybe if I had to say there's one material thing I can't live without, and it's not that I can't, it's that I would struggle without, would be some sort of, like a fan. Like some sort of white noise when I sleep. Because I have an ear condition, that means my ears are always ringing. And if I don't have some sort of white noise to help drown that out when I sleep, that's more pleasurable than ringing, I get really bad sleep. So I would say if there is a material thing, it's something very simple and very basic because of a medical condition. So that might be like one material thing I could say, yeah, I can live without it, but I don't know how long I'm going to live without it when you're getting really bad sleep every night. So yeah, I guess there's that one thing, but again, more because it's like almost a medical requirement than anything. It'd be like, yeah, I have diabetes, so like one thing I can't live without is insulin or something. Like, I mean, it's medical, so the Krusty Krab pizza is the pizza absolutely. Better be careful. I'm gonna get copyright claim for that crap. Although SpongeBob, actually, you don't get copyright claim for SpongeBob stuff usually, as long as it's just like a little clip. That's why you sometimes notice, guys, I'll use like little SpongeBob memes, or like the 2 hours later thing or something like that every once in a while, because for some reason Nickelodeon just doesn't care. I think they know it's part of what makes SpongeBob so popular. Is there's so many quotes and things that you could use in all these other mediums, that just makes a SpongeBob like a forever character. So kind of cool. The eighth arc being all technical. Yeah, don't be technical with Yulia. She sometimes enjoys my technicalities, but because I can be very technical sometimes. But there's some things like that I just like, even though they're not. He's not technically wearing But like, there's a lot of things you can say about SpongeBob. Like, how are they having fires underwater? You know, why do they act like there's a beach and a thing that they swim in when they're literally underwater and always technically swimming in some way? You're not supposed to ask those questions. You just watch and enjoy. But honey, I'm so oblivious to some of the things they say. Like they live. Yeah. Oh my God. Yulia is very. Yulia's got two things about her. That are sometimes funny to mess with. I try not to as much anymore because I feel mean. She's really oblivious to some very obvious things. Like example, she didn't realize Bikini Bottom was like a joke about the bottom portion of a bikini. Like it just never clicked with her. So there's a lot of things like that that she's just oblivious to. And Yulia happens to be really, really gullible with a lot of things, which can be dangerous, by the way, to be super gullible because you can get taken advantage of by a lot of really bad people. But yeah, those are like two things about Yulia that are fun, but also, you know, in the wrong situation, it's not great for her. Anyway, not great for her. Sandy cheeks. There actually are areas where the water is denser. Yes. I actually see CRX24 rule. You are correct. There are areas where the water is denser, which makes it kind of look like an undersea lake or river. You are completely correct on that front. You're right. Still not the same, the way SpongeBob puts it. Then again, there's so many things in SpongeBob that just don't think about it. Just enjoy. Just enjoy. Don't think about it. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Nate, talk that hint there. I just realized myself that's an innuendo. Oh my god. We need an update on how the blast affected you. The blast? What blast? Ah, Mr. Combustible Lemon. But you say she's called Cheeks because squirrels store food in their cheeks. So what's the sandy part have to do about it? Squirrels don't live in sand. Squirrels actually kind of avoid sand. They're more like a forest animal. So what's the sand part have to do? I think Sandy Cheeks is an obvious innuendo when you consider the name of the place they live is Bikini Bottom. Sandy Cheeks from Bikini Bottom. Pretty obvious what they're doing. Sandy. Itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini. Oh my god, Dominic. We'll show that. I don't know. I don't even know what's going on. The itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini. I haven't seen that in so long, man. Wow. That's all I can say is wow. You guys are funny. By the way, be sure to check the pinned comment. We're trying to get our Nintendo Prime podcast channel to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much if you did subscribe. I appreciate it. If you do subscribe, you get a bonus entry in our Switch OLED bundle giveaway. We're at 383, so that's 383 people that get a bonus entry. Double the entry for that prize. So, cool. Oh my god, look at people trying to justify Sandy as if it's not an innuendo. She doesn't live on the sandy Bikini Bottom, though. She has a full-on grass and everything. She's got a tree. She doesn't actually live in the sand. Where her house is located is quite nice. You were late to join the chat? That's all right, John. Can my mod status get carried over? CS24 rule, I don't know. When it comes to mods on the podcast channel, it's a big question mark right now. We need to see how our first stream over there performs, which, by the way, right now we've been getting like 80 live viewers on a podcast. We were getting 150 to 250 before. I suspect when we first do our very first live stream on that channel for the podcast, I full on suspect that podcast live view wise will have like 20 people at the most. And in that case, I don't need moderators for that. But we'll see. It's something we got to grow. We got to grow the channel. We got to grow the base. So right now we're trying to get to 1,000 before we even do anything over there. Besides upload old episodes. So we'll get there. Just do a video on Technoblade drama on the podcast channel. An instant one. I don't even know what Technoblade is. The hell is Technoblade drama? Technoblade. What am I getting myself in? No, you know what? Let's do this together. What the heck is Technoblade? I don't know what I'm about to search up here. Hold up. Let's do this together. Let's flip this over. Let's do this together. Technoblade. Oops. What the heck is Technoblade? Is it a Minecraft? Is this a Minecraft thing? Is he a YouTuber? He's a YouTuber.
I think so.
Okay. So he looks like a Minecraft YouTuber. Got nearly 10 million subs. Well, how's his latest video? I mean, he got 1.6 million 2 days ago on a live stream. Damn. 8.9 million a month ago. So he does what? A stream a month? That's what it looks like. It looks like that's all he does now is a stream a month. So he does like one live stream per month, or maybe two sometimes. And he took a break there for a little bit. I mean, I suppose. The thing is, like, if you do like a drama, I don't know anything about this guy, by the way. I suppose if you do like a drama video about him, it could get a lot of views because he's just such a big YouTuber, right? You know, he's at almost 10 million subscribers, or 9.5 here. So I can see it. Like, anytime you do like a drama video on a really popular thing, especially if it's something a lot of people are disliking at the moment, it could lead to, you know, obviously a ton of subscribers and stuff. But yeah. No thanks on the drama. We're good. Now, if I'm going to leave this up, podcast up, Technoblade, go away. Animal Crossing, baby. Nate, you should change the podcast channel to Shin Kisu, or whatever the channel was called, and post a video about crypto. Shiba Inu, or Ibu, or whatever the heck it was. Yeah, baby. I should just re-upload that stream, right? That 7.5 hour stream that only I can see. I should just re-upload that bad boy, right? Yeah, baby. Instant hundreds of thousands of viewers. Where I've been is where he explains where he's been the past year. That must have been like where he's been video I saw for a second. Yes, Dread will eventually sell 4 to 5 million. I wonder, is any of my... Let's see if any of my... And yes, folks, I can see like the dislike ratio. Oh, Jake Randall is streaming right now. He's a good guy. Nintendo K Gaming is streaming right now too. You see, I got a lot of sports stuff in here. I'm watching the Packers, the Bucks, ESPN. See what's going on in old Jakey's stream here.
It's pinned. It's pinned to the chat, okay?
It's pinned. Is it up?
Guys, I'm not tweeting that one out, but you all saw it, right? I'm not tweeting that out.
What?
So what you need to do
give
is...
away an Xbox. Oh, it's up. They give an Xbox...
All right. Microsoft
Series X away on live stream? What?
We'll do that, where they go in and out like that.
I'm sitting here trying to buy an Xbox Series X live on stream. Hey, everyone.
Thank you, bro, for everything.
Holy crud.
Appreciate you, sadly. No Maryland.
1,000. That is...
Thank you for all. PS5 you helped me get. You're the best and super fun. Thank you.
That is not a correct price.
So they glitch and go in and out sometimes, right? But you literally all saw it on the come back in.
He's got a giveaway at 1:15 a.m. Eastern, so 12:15 our time. Nice, man. Jake's a good guy. I like Jake a lot. Tell him hi. We'll tell him hi. Hold on.
Okay.
I'll say hi to him in a second. He doesn't know. He doesn't know that I'm streaming his stream
one of the accounts just
right
tweeted
now.
that it's still flickering. That's the word I was looking for, flickering.
I'll tell him hi.
Guys, the Walmart link does not take you to third party. The Walmart link is for the product. When Walmart themselves doesn't have any that they're putting up for sale, they allow it to be replaced with a third-party listing. But when Walmart has it for retail price, that's still the right link.
I'm just doing it on this computer, so you guys.
That's just a PSA for you right there. Public service announcement. It's not a third-party link. It's the official Walmart link that doesn't have the right price until they let it come into stock. That's how Walmart works. Trust me.
Bada boom, ba boom, ba boom, boom. Super chat away. Say hi to you, Jake. How's it going?
That's, again, this is why you wait for the alarm.
I don't have his number.
Because none of these links will do anything for you until they
notice my super chat. He's got a $150 one that he got earlier. Nice.
Much love, man. Hey, Nintendo Prime. Good to see you.
Hey, there it is, Jake.
Much love back at you, brother. Benito Blanco, thank you for the one. I'm signed out of my account as well.
What's up, Jake? I know you're not watching my stream. Oh, that's funny. Anyways. No. Where's my mouse? There it is. All right. Jake's a good guy. Go back to the podcast. Jake's a good guy. Carlos Morales. Jake doesn't use affiliate links, believe it or not. Even if he did use affiliate links, there's nothing wrong with it. But he actually doesn't. Jake's like the only one who doesn't. Which, by the way, there is nothing wrong with using affiliate links. But he doesn't use affiliate links. He makes all his money off the kindness of the people who watch his channel. And then ads, of course. Yep, he's great. He's literally one of the most caring people I've ever seen on YouTube. Let's see here. We watching him watch a live stream. Happens. Shout out. He did shout me out. Usually on his streams, because he's got like 9,000 people watching. Like, you know, if you want him to notice you, sometimes you have to super chat. He wants to read every single chat, but he just can't. So that's why I tossed a little super chat. It's not that you have to super chat to get his attention. It's just you got 9,000 people watching. I would know. I haven't had 9,000, but we've had 1,200 once, and we had 600 plus the entirety of E3. Yeah, I couldn't read everything in the chat. It's impossible. And that's just at 600, let alone 9,000. I obviously read all the super chats. Will we get a title reveal for Breath of the Wild 2 at the Game Awards? Or a trailer reveal for Prime 1 Remake? Or Prime 4? What's the higher probability? A new trailer for Bayonetta 3? I don't know. Fortunately, the Elden Ring closed network is coming to an end. Now I have to wait till February to return to the world. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things. People seem to be really enjoying the Elden Ring stuff. The Midwestern woman thing was a joke. Just complimenting Yulia. Also, that hoodie looks on. Yeah, you can't get this hoodie anywhere. We don't sell this hoodie anymore. This is a Nintendo Prime Classic that nobody bought. We had this available for sale for like a year, and nobody bought it, so we don't have it available anymore. Yeah, this is a classic. It has the classic logo, classic Nintendo Prime text on the back. Also, I got this thing conveniently hanging around. This was actually hand painted by a fan. Back when we used to have a P.O. box. A fan sent this to me. Hand painted. Pretty cool, huh? Made out of walnut. Real wood. Pretty cool. Should really hang it up somewhere. Can I get it to stick to one of these panels? Nope. Pretty cool though. All right. I think we're gonna wrap this up. What's up, Feniku Sybil, one of our members of the board of directors of Nintendo Prime? We're trying to get back up to 200. Hit the 200 member goal for bonus giveaways. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I don't know who Charles is. Charles Trudell? Got to prepare himself for sleep and work. I presume that's what we're talking about. Man, I have most of this beer. You cracked it for like 2 shots. Man. That's a lot of beer. Hey, good old Nintendo Prime, you want to send yourself $20 to chug the beer? It's like on cue. It's on cue. I was telling Nintendo Prime, that bastard, to send $20 to chug the beer. And then here comes the 8th arc with his Australian 1947. Is there a specific meaning behind the 1947 besides party mode? $1947. Is there a meaning behind that? By the way, he didn't do that for the beer, since the stream delay alone means he didn't know about that when he donated. So that won't count for the beer. That doesn't also get us a cannon blast. Because that's 25. It's not. It's thankfully not this. This, folks, is the infamous Cacarina Tequila Ini. This is only comes out for special $100 donos. This is one shot of this, and I'm probably within 40 minutes going to be feeling it. Tequila hits me hard. We'll just do a full. We'll give them a full one. I think that makes sense, right? $10 for a half, 20 for a full. It's almost 20, not quite. And technically, with exchange rates, it's a little lower, but that's all right. We'll give them a full vodka. In 1947, India and I think Pakistan got independence from Britain. Maybe that was his point. Like what's so? It's a very specific number. He had to manually type that in. That's not a standard donation. Standard donation amounts are obviously like $1, $2, $5, $10, $15, $20, $25, $30, etc. And then there's obviously when it says like $19.99, that's because they're on an Apple device. Apple devices don't go up to the full 20. Why did GTA 5 price raise on Xbox? It did? Yikes. Game's been out a while, Rockstar. I mean, it's been out since what? God, when did GTA 5 originally come out? GTA 5, hold on. GTA 5. 2013. We're getting up to a decade. Up to a decade? Damn. You got the premium edition for 15 last month. It's 30 now? I don't. Whatever. Honestly, if GTA 5 was a Nintendo game, it'd still be $60. So, because it still sells. So why lower the price? That's Nintendo's logic. Still sells. Why lower the price? Sometimes, even if it doesn't sell, we'll lower it eventually, like 8 years later to $20. So you can at least be thankful it's not 60, because if it was Nintendo's game, it would still be 60. You bought an Xbox just for Back 4 Blood. No regrets. Yeah, that's why Eric bought his. He bought an Xbox Series X just for Back 4 Blood. And he's been trying to organize another gaming night with me to play that game. I don't know when that's going to happen. Maybe Thursday. We'll see. How hyped am I for Kirby? Pretty hyped. Kirby in the Forgotten Land. Pretty hyped. I think we get this vodka shot down, man. Oh, full vodka. Vodka. Me chanting my inner vodka. 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 Cheap ass vodka. So as I was trying to say, yeah, $20 donation, and maybe I'll chug this down. But nobody has to do it. I'm. It's alcohol abuse, but I'm okay dumping the beer. It's fine. Because for those who don't know, when I have a cracked beer, when the stream ends, I don't drink it. I dump it out. So like we crack the beer for our cheap donations, but then it doesn't. We don't go through the whole thing. Down the drain it goes. Do you think Kirby will be janky and empty, or do you think it'll get the full Nintendo polish treatment? Full Nintendo polish. Give us some time. If PS5 had it and Game Pass, the service would be game over for Xbox. Would it? For starters, the only games that would really be on PS5's comparable service, if they had a Game Pass, would be Sony's exclusives, which is a big deal. But the reason Microsoft has Back 4 Blood, the reason it has MLB The Show even, and so many other major third-party games that come out day and date on Game Pass is because Microsoft's got way the hell more money than Sony does. So why doesn't Sony have a comparable service? Well, because that service loses Microsoft money and Sony can't afford to lose money. That's why Sony doesn't have the service. They can't afford to lose money, and that service is a loss leader and will be a loss leader for a while if you want to build it right. So that's why Sony doesn't have a comparable service, because it can't afford to. So even if it did have a comparable service out of nowhere, it wouldn't have all those third-party games because, again, they can't afford to. So, yeah, Microsoft wouldn't be done because it would still have the third-party games that Sony can't afford to have, like Back 4 Blood day and date. And it would also have now all the games from all the studios Microsoft owns that Sony wouldn't get. Sony wouldn't get the new Elder Scrolls game. Only Microsoft will have that. Then it just goes back to the argument of exclusives. And the thing is, in 5 years, there's going to be a very legit argument that Microsoft has as many high-quality exclusives, if not more, than Sony. Because they're just buying up studios. And there's rumors they're about to make another major acquisition heading in the next year. You thought they were done with Bethesda and id Software? Oh, they ain't done. They ain't done. Another major acquisition is in the works. So, yeah. So Timothy says, but you got to think that Microsoft will never have any Xbox exclusive. Never. Will never have any. Because all their games will also be on PC. All their games are also going to be on their streaming service. Microsoft doesn't care how you play their games. I want to make this very clear. Microsoft's strategy is way different. Sony and Nintendo say, you want to play our games, buy our system. That's not what Microsoft says. Microsoft says, you want to play our games? Sure, you can buy our system. That is an option. We do offer the ability for you to play it locally on a system. Or just join one of our services or own a PC. Join our streaming service or, sign up for Game Pass on PC. Microsoft doesn't care where you play. They care that you're using their services to do it. It's a fundamental difference in strategy. Sony and Nintendo are more classic, buy our system to play our games. Microsoft is, I don't care if you play it on PC or if you play it on game streaming with xCloud. We don't care. We just care that you're playing it. Which also makes Microsoft's approach more consumer friendly, technically. Even if people don't want to support an all service future. Game Pass is the greatest value in gaming. But some people are always tepid about it because supporting that value, which saves people lots of money every year, also means supporting the idea that you want this kind of thing everywhere. Because if Game Pass becomes successful and becomes profitable in the same way Netflix now is, everyone else is going to look stupid for not doing it. That's Microsoft banking. Microsoft isn't worried about profits now. They're thinking in a decade, Game Pass might be the biggest thing in video games. It might be the biggest moneymaker in video game history. That's the way they're looking at Game Pass. They don't care about losing money now. Everything now is an investment when Game Pass is making them billions. Netflix lost money for like 12 straight years. Now it turned a profit this year, and the profit it's turning is insane. That's the goal. Might take a while to get there, and not every company can afford to lose money for a decade on something. Microsoft can. Because there's a long off vision where it's still an amazing, like Netflix is still really great today. Like just because Netflix is now profitable hasn't changed how good Netflix is as a service. It's still a really, really good service. So that you're not losing any service quality now that it makes money. But Xbox makes gaming feel relaxed and have fun. I mean, I enjoy my Xbox. I have a Series S right now. I enjoy playing on it. It's fun. I enjoy it. I don't have any real big complaint. Honestly, people I had a Series X at one point, and I have a Series S, and one question people give me is, do I notice that I'm playing on a Series S versus a Series X? And look, if I stand up and get within a few feet of my TV, I notice it's not 4K. Okay? I can notice it's a bit blurrier because it's running at 1080p or 1440p depending on the game. So yes, when I'm close enough to my TV, I definitely can tell it's not 4K. Now, performance-wise, I don't really notice anything. It pretty much runs the exact same on both platforms. Now, there are some games that have 120 FPS on Xbox Series X that I don't get on this. But like when you load up Forza Horizon 5 on a Series S, you see all that footage out there and those screenshots that look amazing. It looks that good on the Series S too. So it's like, from a normal sitting distance, which my couch that I game on down here, I would say is probably about 8 feet away from the TV, I'm hard pressed to notice much. Every now and then you'll be like, okay, that looks slightly blurrier than it would at 4K. But to be honest, it's a perfectly pleasurable gaming experience. Now, would I rather have a Series X? Sure. But also, not really noticing that big of a difference. And I'm a tech head. So to say that as I'm rocking a $2,500 49-inch 1440p mini LED, super ucka bucka fucka best monitor in the goddamn world for gaming with my, valuation $2,000 gaming PC that I use specifically to edit videos. As I'm sitting here rocking some of the best tech in the world, I am not noticing a huge difference gameplay-wise. Really says something about how far gaming has come. Because there is a big difference between the Series S and Series X. Honestly, at this point, it's not. Now, I suspect by the end of this upcoming year, by the end of 2022, when we start to get some of the big hitters that are exclusive to the series, I expect to notice some things. I do expect to notice a few differences. But we're just not at that point right now. Right now, Series S is massively enjoyable. And it's cheap. And because Microsoft officially allows it to be done, Series S is like one of the best emulation machines on the planet. There's like this one app you purchase for like $2 or whatever it is, and the whole world of emulation opens up to you. You want to play all your Switch games at 1440p, 60 FPS, you can do that on a Series S. Might not be completely legal sometimes, but depends on how you got your ROM. But yeah, like the Series S is awesome for the price. You like console wars. Timothy says, I like console wars. It's fun to compare and see which ones win. The problem is when people who take it too far. I watched a video and it has like 9,000 dislikes because of fanboys. Well, what was said in the video? Because I like competition. I think enjoying competition, like Nintendo does this, so then, now Nintendo does this, Valve answers with Steam Deck. That's a positive. Microsoft does something with Game Pass, or it creates Game Pass, so maybe Sony responds later with their own service system. Or now, they announced xCloud, well, Google's going to get a jump on it with Stadia. Oh, because Google's doing this and xCloud exists, Amazon's going to try to get in the game with Amazon Luma. I'm good with all that. That's healthy competition. That's good. That pushes the industry forward. Like, Switch needs a competitor for hybrid systems, or they're not going to push the medium as much as you want. You want a really cool next-gen Nintendo Switch-like experience that just blows your mind? You know the best way to get it? Have someone try to compete with Switch as it is today. Nintendo will do one of two things. They'll actually innovate and do something super special with the next system, or they'll just make something else entirely. Either way, Nintendo's going to push things and try to do something fresh. And that's good. Like, I like competition. I don't necessarily like console wars, because what does console wars mean? The term war is important. It means there's a battle. A battle. Console warring basically only exists among fanboys. Sure, Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony are fundamentally competing for people's time in the video game space. So there is a raw, blanketed competition that just exists. It doesn't matter what your opinions are, what you prefer to play. There is a raw competition there. Just like fast food joints are competing for you to choose to go eat at them, restaurants, grocery stores that, multiple different types of grocery stores competing for you to shop at their places. Like, yes, there's a competition there. But nobody considers it a war when it's Amazon versus Best Buy versus Walmart versus Target versus Kmart versus Shopko. Nobody views it as a war. Why? There's not really fanboys of retail outlets. You can really enjoy shopping at GameStop, but if someone gives you better prices somewhere else, you'll shop there. You can love the Amazon shopping experience, but if Best Buy offers you a better deal on that TV, you'll buy it there. There's not fanboys of retail. You can have retail outlets that you prefer. Like, as an example, when I shop online, one of the first places I check is Amazon, but it's not like I'm immune to, say, buying a PC component off Newegg instead of Amazon. You don't get the same sort of fanboyism, the same sort of consumerism towards a specific company when it comes to where you buy your products from. Now, you can get a specific consumerism towards a company that makes a product. Example, iPhones, Samsung Galaxies and Notes, Folds, etc. Like, Google Pixels. You can get an affinity for that. Affinity towards Google itself. Like Google, has Google Docs and Google Business and Google Email, Gmail. You got, obviously YouTube. Like, Google's a big entity, and some people have an affinity for Google products and will trash anything that competes with it. Google Drive. Well, Google Drive is better than, Microsoft's one solution or this company's solution or this solution. None of them are really better. They're just all different. What happens with console wars and why I despise console wars is because all they are is excuses for fanboys and girls to get into comment sections or make videos and other social media content and attack something they don't even partake in. Switch sucks. Have you ever played one? Yeah, I tried one once at a kiosk at Best Buy. Or my buddy had one, and I went to play The Witcher 3 on it, and fuck The Witcher 3. Or I don't have to play it, I saw it on Twitch stream. Or screw Sony. They're such a piece of shit. I played one of their games and it had no soul. Or forget Xbox. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They ruined Halo. They ruined this. Oh my God, they bought Rare and they destroyed blah, 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 blah. Never mind that Rare was destroyed because the owner sold it, not because of Microsoft. Nintendo knew Rare wasn't worth owning without the original founders there because they were the minds behind everything. And if you get rid of the mind, you're left with a skeleton. And that's what Microsoft bought. It was always going to fall apart no matter who owned it. Console wars are dumb. Competition isn't. Console wars is always stupid. Because it's about fanboys and fangirls. And what are fanboys and fangirls going to do? Trash anything that isn't the thing they like. That's not fun. It's fun to make fun of those people sometimes, but the act of the console war isn't enjoyable for anybody. The people making, like, be honest with you guys. Come here for a second. Be honest with you. I've participated in console wars. In my younger years, especially, I massively participated in console wars. Let me tell you something. I didn't enjoy it. There wasn't a single comment or article or anything that I ever wrote where I enjoyed what I wrote. I wasn't having fun. What was that comment made out of? Anger. Spite. These aren't positive emotions. You're warring over something that doesn't matter in the grand scheme. And on top of not mattering, these companies don't give a shit about you. They just want your money. So think about it for a moment as you sit there and you participate. And by the way, I still get accused that I console war because I defend Nintendo. I criticize Nintendo to the nth degree. I just defend against asinine arguments. That's all. At least arguments I find to be asinine. And the thing is, subjective opinions are what they are. And if it's something subjective, I can't change the fact that, look, if you think Mario is a kid's game and I can explain to you all the ways that it's not, and you play Mario and to you it just feels like a kid's game, that's your subjective opinion. I can't change your subjective opinion. I could just present to you what Mario is to me, what Animal Crossing is to me, what Pokemon is to me. All these games that get viewed as kids' games, I can explain how there's complexities there and emotional connections and things that can translate into an enjoyable experience for adults. But that's my perspective. Console warning's dumb. It's always been dumb. There's nothing healthy that comes out of it. Just a lot of anger. A lot of lack of accountability. A lot of, if we think that's okay, then we think it's okay to just bitch all the time. About anything. It's not. Healthy discussion. Productive conversations. Yes. Most console wars aren't that. So, competition. Competition good, console wars bad. All right, that's going to be it. We're going to call it right there. The stream went a little later than I planned. You guys are awesome. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for your support, as always. Let me see if I can shout out all the super chats quick. Let's see here. We had a $2 donation from Eric Salazar earlier. Thank you so much. We had a $2 donation from Playboy182. $5 from Taker610. Thank you so much for that. We had GI Rocky 3 with the $9.99. And then the 8th Dark with the Australian 1947, which I still don't know what the meaning was. I'll have to ask him later. Behind 1947. It must have some significance. There's historical references. Don't know if that's what he meant. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you had a good time. On this Sunday night stream, we'll have a news video ready to rock for you tomorrow at 11 a.m. See you guys then. It's been a lot of fun. Subscribe, by the way, to our channel, Nintendo Prime, and also to our podcast channel. It feels weird, by the way. I've been pushing the podcast channel the last handful of days. it feels weird to be like, hey, subscribe to Nintendo Prime podcast. I'm usually telling people to subscribe to this channel. I'm like, no, well, I mean, subscribe here too, but subscribe there too as well. How do you push 2 channels on one? I'm new to this, man. I've never had multiple channels to manage. So, all right, guys, peace out. $5 quick. Hold up. We had a $5 quick. We'll do a quick chuggy here for that. From Frey Fenikisu Saibil. Thank you so much for the late $5. Cheers. Thanks for that. All right, now for real, we're done. Peace out.